Yo!
Yo talk show!
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Molly.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Marco.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Katie.
Dreamin'!
Al's name didn't fit. They talk about the show this group of four friends been going for a million years, there's no end. Watching every arc and saga, no sleep. It's the king of anime, 1,000 episodes deep.
Yo! Talk show!
Talking about One Piece.
It's the name of the podcast.
We're not on Vine. Yayo Talk Show. Talking about
One Piece.
What's up, wenches, privateers, and non-binary buccaneers? Welcome aboard the most chaotic One Piece podcast on the Grand Line Internet. Pop on your favorite Robin Williams and Nathan Lane comedy movie from 1996 because we're talking about The Birdcage. Let's introduce you to the crew. Funny.
So specific.
First and foremost, the captain of the Crudo Pirates. I wrote that line down.
I was going to ask. All right.
Molly D. Simpy.
Dude, I believe you. That doesn't mean I understand the reference at all. After you guys
come on.
made a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh references I don't understand.
Oh, we didn't record it, though. You can't we didn't.
I got it.
Caden and I are going to have to duel on stream.
Okay.
Speaking of Caden, the Wild Theorist, Caden Jensen.
I'm surprised that Molly doesn't know what the Birdcage is. And in that case, movie night, Molly. Movie night.
Absolutely.
I mean, does it have Chris Evans in it?
No, but it's got Robin
talk to
Williams in it. So
Oh, what?
And Gene Hackman.
and
doing
Gene
drag.
Hackman, Nathan Lane.
Yeah, you gotta.
It's a really
I
good
like
movie.
Robin Williams.
The Laugh Boy, Al McClellan.
Hi, everybody. It's me.
speaking of Robin Williams, it's Al.
Or also Al.
I stole all the Williams.
That was you?
Al, that was so dumb. The dumbest thing. And I know a thing
You're
about
welcome.
And I know a thing about dumb things because I'm the internet's gentleman, Mark B. Donica. The B stands for Bonesman.
Bonesman.
Welcome in, everybody. I can't believe, first of all, now that we're a little bit departed from it, I am beyond shocked that we've finished part 1 of Dressrosa in under 2 hours. I am very surprised.
We had a lot going on that day. I'm not
Go
that
us.
surprised.
Was a lot happening.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
I-
a beefy thing.
When I get sweatier and I get hungrier, I'm like, okay, we're going faster now. We're getting. I gotta go. We gotta go.
So expect us to finish
Molly
the
turns into
entire.
Sonic the Hedgehog very quickly. The hotter it gets.
Molly eats a chili dog and then runs a marathon every episode.
It doesn't help that it's going to be 105 today, and it's already 96, and I have the AC on, and I'm
Yeah.
sweating profusely from my PC being on.
Yeah.
So
That's
this is going to
'cause
be.
it's
This is a 5-minute episode. I hope you guys are ready.
Yeah, I was gonna say, expect the entire density of the finality of this arc in about 20 minutes.
I'll
The
go first.
density
Don't
of
let me
the
go
finality.
sucks. We're done here.
But before we get into chatting about God, I'm just looking at my notes and I'm terrified. Kaden, what chapter of One Piece are you currently on?
I have just finished chapter 800, and I am staring at the chapter art for chapter 801.
And why now? We had talked about how 801 is the end, like that's where you should stop, and but we're gonna have you read 801 before we've got something coming down the line. Kaden, you want to tell the folks what's coming down the line?
Yeah, we did an episode like this a while ago, and it's time to return to our lovely little gloomy port of Port Predictions. Because I
I
have
have it's
some
gloomy
thoughts.
so much as it's terrifying.
It's only terrifying if you know what's going to happen and you're not me. So, you know,
Okay, yeah, fair.
there's some things I really want to talk about. Specifically, one thing that, and I'm going to tease it in the best way. Mark literally was just like, huh. And then changed the conversation and subject and walked away. I'm just like, well, that's not suspicious. So I'm going to hyper focus on it because generally that involves I'm either right or completely wrong. But I'm going to follow that path, and we'll get there when we go to port predictions in a future episode. But not this episode because we've got to talk about Doffy and how stupid he is.
It is stupid
And
glasses.
his stupid freaking glasses and his stupid face. I hate Doflamingo.
So, but as we transition into talking about the rest of Dressrosa, I just want to remind our listeners of something else. We appreciate and welcome any and all responses and interactions that we have on social media, whether it's Twitter, Twitch, Tumblr. We want to reiterate, we say it every episode, Caden is still catching up. Anything that you might not consider a spoiler still could be. Caden just said, because of a barely verbal non-acknowledgement of something she said, which now I'm going to be hyperfixating on. What did she say?
What did I say?
Can set Caden off to a hyperfixation and can lead her down a road of like, oh, that means this. So please, if you're curious about where Caden is in the show, she will either tweet when she's done with something, and that indicates exactly where she is, or pop on over the podcast feed and see what our most recent episode is, and consider that.
The
Please.
one benefit of like Caden almost being caught up with One Piece is that nobody can spoil it for her anymore.
Yeah,
You gotta let Caden finish the show in one piece.
You know what
That's
it is,
the
Mark?
joke.
You can see when they're skipping the intro, they're skipping the outro. They don't hear it say you gotta leave her to watch it in one piece.
That's why we just got to keep putting more reminders throughout the episode.
It's the
Let me
name of the
watch it
treasure on the
in-
Grand
in-
Line.
Let me watch it in one place.
Wait a
One
minute.
place,
It's a bottle series.
one piece of pizza.
Oh, are we now
one
everybody
place.
wants
One
pizza.
place. It's it's like it's the name of the pizza. Yeah, that is the name of the pizza place. One place.
Little
Yeah.
Caesars.
One.
It's the name
I'm
of the
gonna
pizza,
get one.
and it's damn fine.
I'm gonna get one
Ugh.
slice at one place.
Little Rogers.
Shoot, we've got more art to do.
Oh shit, that's a
Right next-
shirt and a half.
Right next to the
Yeah.
Denny's is now going to be a little
Roger as the tiny Caesar mascot.
I'm
Yeah.
at the little
And you just go-
Rogers. I'm
the
at
best
Taco
part is-
Bell.
We just need to get the Star Wars sound effect where it's just like they're just like when he slams the stick down, Roger.
Oh god damn.
Oh no.
That's silly.
Well, that seems like a perfect opportunity to transition into the show. When last we left off, we talked about Sabo.
He's all right.
Saba Odie?
Yep, we're back. Sabo
Oh,
taking
yeah.
Luffy's place in the rest of the tournament to win the Marimaro no Mi and keep Ace's legacy alive. The will of Ace will live on through Sabo. And as Ken, I don't know if you reacted. What did you think
I was about to ask. Go ahead.
about
Go ahead.
Sabo's compatriot in his mission?
Oh, I love 10 out of 10.
Because
You know who
we
she
saw
is?
the return
Do you know who
of
she is, Kaden?
Koala.
Yeah.
Okay, great. You didn't react at all. That was like you were like, I love
was
her, and
expecting
we're
to
like,
get yelled at.
back,
No.
yeah, back
The
when
thing
you're
is,
like, I love her.
at this point, this is 100% everything that I've been trained to expect. This is 100% what I am trained to expect from One Piece now. It's like, oh, I haven't seen somebody in like 700 chapters, or they talked about somebody in an abstract way a million years ago, and here they are, and they're
was my-
important.
Favorite thing though, when we were talking about the Fishman arc, and you're like, I love her, and I'm like, yeah, too bad we'll never see her ever again.
Yeah, I laid it on a little thick there, Captain.
Yeah, it was a nice like it suits Koala to show up in this way. Like
love
As a
it, like,
revolutionary.
wacky.
yeah, as a revolutionary, not necessarily a pirate, but as a revolutionary specifically.
I know they're dressed up for steampunk, but when I look at Koala, she's got like a wacky racers vibe that I love.
Oh, she's Penelope Pitstop all over the place.
100%.
Solid references.
Christmas episode.
I can I talk about Sabo for a minute?
Absolutely.
Please.
Kind of disappointing. Like
Well,
ultimately, like I don't know. He's
yeah.
okay. He's all right, but just like kind of just like
Katie's disappointing.
maybe I'm channeling Molly here. Maybe I'm channeling Molly a bit too much here.
That doesn't sound right.
He's fine. Like he's
Doesn't sound
fine.
right at
He's
all.
fine. He's
Don't like
fine.
that.
He's great. I like the fact that like now that he's around, I'm getting a lot of like stuff that I missed out on in his absence in the story that I didn't know that he was absent for. And like learning more about like how he viewed the situation, because we saw a lot of it from Luffy's perspective and a lot of it from Ace's perspective. So it's nice to get Sabo's perspective. But at the end of the day, I just keep thinking to myself, you're not Ace. You're just not. You're Sabo is the middle brother who's trying to be the older brother because the older brother went to college. And
Blue's
he's
Clues.
never coming back.
Felt those finger air quotes.
Oh,
so
thanks. I
hard.
literally did them. I did them for real too because I just couldn't not.
Here is the thing. I agree with you. He's not Ace. Like Sabo is never going to be Ace, and that's totally fine. I would prefer to have Ace over Sabo. But I sobbed for 5 minutes knowing that Luffy wasn't alone when.
Oh no, I'm like 100% behind that. Like it's nice to have Sabo here, but it's like
Much like your local steampunk bar. If there's not a Zeppelin, it's not as interesting.
I mean, I'm sorry to all the Sabo fans in chat, but I mean, he's kind of the diet Ace, right? Like he's the diet Coke.
no,
think something that-
he's the Coke Zero of Ace. I think it's a little bit worse
I
than the
think
diet.
the thing that could have sold him a little bit more is if he wasn't wearing the exact same
Yeah.
outfit that he was wearing
Has
as a
not
child.
changed clothes.
Like even like I understand like keeping a couple of stylistic elements both from a character design standpoint and as a personal style standpoint, but he's wearing the exact same thing.
He has the
Yeah,
exact
you know-
same lead pipe. Like,
Yeah.
You know what? You know what I think it is? I just think Dragon is just like, this is just what kids wear. All right, so this is
It's like pipes.
I'm
these
gonna
days,
fill
I
your
wouldn't
closet
know. I
with
didn't
this
raise
exact
any
same
kids.
thing.
Yeah, it's.
I didn't raise my son. What am I supposed to do? Just
I don't-
get the kid a bunch of these.
I don't know if we even talked about it, but I remember talking about it with Al and Mark in spoiler chat. But now that we can talk about Sabo, there was so much that like happened previously before people realized Sabo was coming back, where like now that you're reading Caden, you see that he does a lot of like little character stories in the chapters, but he also will do random illustrations of like Nami and like a little lion or something. Like she's dressing the lion. It's like he'll do like fun little vignettes. And after
Yeah,
a
there's
while,
there's a couple cover things that I'm not allowed to talk about because it makes Mark mad, and we're saving it for for predictions.
But there
Oh.
was one. I might have to find the chapter cover for you to go back and look at it. But there's one that's like places around the world, and it cuts after the time skip to Whitebeard and Ace's grave, and you can kind of see in the corner of Ace's grave somebody has pinned like Luffy's new bounty to the grave, and there are like sake cups in front of it.
Mhm.
On the actual chapter, there is something in front of the illustration where the cups are. And I don't know, maybe like a couple years later, or like time has passed since that chapter came out, and they did a gallery show of Oda's original art. And people could see that there were 3 cups actually on that cover, but you can't see it in the manga. And so there was a huge conspiracy about Sabo being alive. And the other thing is that when he would do those chapter covers, he would always do like fun little vignettes or chapter covers or something. The very first time, quote unquote, he ever did like fan art or like hypothetical stuff was of a chapter cover of Ace, Luffy, and presumably an adult Sabo running from like a monkey that they had like dined and dashed on. And it was like up until that point, he had never drawn anything that like to that extent, like drawing an older character that like had died. You know what I mean? And it's funny because if you like, I'll find it for you. But the image of that Sabo, his face is like covered up by his hat. But that is the epitome of a grown-up Sabo from him as a child. Like no shirt, like wearing the exact same outfit and has the same type of curly hair. And then it's like Oda was like, no, not hot enough, and like gave him like perfectly coiffed hair, and he's like fully dressed. He's like the one like perfect child out of the three of them. Like
you're one of those rich boys, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. But it was like there was so much like conspiracy theory about Sabo for so long that when it actually happened, people were like, we were right. Like he leaves breadcrumbs and like there's payout to them. Like holy crap!
This is where people figured that out. Fuck.
Yeah, man. I've been waiting so long to talk about that, and I was just sitting here and I'm like, did I even talk about that last time?
Like, hold on, wait a minute. That's
half
something.
a year.
Speaking of revolutionary, this is what tipped people off. Not the millions of other things that were really obvious from before.
All right, Columbo.
Calm down. Yeah.
It's one of those things in hindsight, like
Come on.
as you're following the story and you're waiting weeks on weeks on weeks and don't have it sort of like you're not going through volumes across a day.
Okay,
You forget
then the real thing is that we need to start something completely new altogether that's brand new, and then see it through to the end, and then just figure out if this is just a me thing or what else is happening here. Because like a lot of this is like, okay, I've praised Oda before. Prepare for to hear me do it again.
Can I, before Caden starts up,
guess what? We're back
roast
again.
Caden for 1 second?
Oh,
Can
please.
I just sees everything coming a mile away. I would like to remind viewers that we have actually told Caden every single arc in this series, and she constantly forgets that we have told her stuff and being like, shut up, she forgot, shut up, she forgot.
That's just me. Like, that's cat with a laser pointer. Dog with a ball. So it's like, if you throw the ball and then you take the thing that I'm not supposed to have and move it behind your back, the thing that you moved behind your back does not exist. Object permanence. Just
What's great is the stuff that you don't know we've moved behind our back.
Again, see, it's an unknown. Things I don't know that I don't know. Mm-hmm. But like as far as in the pages, trackable, traceable things that I have seen in the anime, in the manga, it is easier for me to. It's much easier for me to do that because I'm focused on it, and I'm just like, I'm in the one place for the One Piece, and
I gotta get in One Piece mode.
I'm shifting into One Piece mode, and it's just like there's a lot of things that like Oda's just like it's kind of like. It's like, you see this frying pan? I'm going to hit you with it. No, you won't. Bonk. It's like, oh, he hit me with the frying pan. I bet he's not going to do it again. Bonk. Okay. It's like, learn from the bonking. He's bonking you with
glasses. I see.
Oh boy.
So it's a really good job of like making you forget you're gonna get bonked though, because he's like introduced you to like 100 new characters and they're in a new place with new rules, and then also there's like new Marines.
He's great at juggling, just like the premise of bringing up this giant smorgasbord of information, and then that important thing that almost happened. Yeah, here it is now.
Speaking of which, there is something that I do want to bring up that did get juggled and then never addressed again. Like with the whole it's like let's see. I think this is actually right around the time. This was before. This is before something we really didn't talk too much about. It's like we did talk about it a little bit, but like CP0 is there, and they're there,
mm-hmm.
and then then it's just like, and hey, look, CP0's here, and then everybody's like, yeah, all right.
Yep.
It's like, okay, all right.
Them. It's one of those things. Like similarly with the juggling metaphor, it's
what we're doing to you in a sense of throwing the ball and then hiding the thing. Oda isn't even just hiding it. He's just got so many balls in the air that he hopes you forget how many he's actually
It really
juggling.
is. And that's the thing is it's easier to forget something that is told to you in passing in a podcast or on Discord. But it's much harder to forget these freaking freaks of the week strolling up, whereas Oda's just like, how about an entire page? Just all them with the longest of forms and just like all this. Like, I'm not going to forget that. They're the freaking weirdos. I'm going to remember these weirdos. I'm 100% going to
will.
remember these weirdos. It's
They
like,
got terrible fashion sense.
that's why I'm going to remember them.
Yeah, and it's after Labor Day too.
I
Yeah.
know. I was gonna make the joke.
Damn it! Hey,
Yo,
same hat. Same
Read the
hat.
script, Mark. That was
Oh,
my
sorry.
line.
Hold on.
But right around
Paper
gonna
at the ready.
That's gonna
but-
suck for me to edit later.
but like CP0 shows up. CP0 shows up, and right around this time, it's like we lose a lot of people real fast. Like I'm trying to get us back on track, Mark. I don't know if you noticed that. Just
Mark
want to
across
point that
the
out.
room.
Just so
Mark leaving the room.
Mark, I know that you're
Jaden
trying to get
has
us
the
back
brain
on track,
cell.
but
What's that?
we're getting back on track. You can come back.
Okay.
All right, cool,
Go
great.
left, go right.
Over here.
So
Yeah,
no.
Further back.
Further.
How about back here?
A little
Oh,
bit
hi,
more.
Mark.
Dude, these headphones are great. They've got like a 10-foot cord.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Anyway,
It's not even that they were just walking around, Caden. That Robin was right there at like a cafe table and was like, "Check out these freaks of the week." Anyway,
Yep. Anyway, but we also like lost a lot of our crew here.
We
And
did
I'm just
talk
like-
about that.
We lost a lot of
remember that.
we lost a lot of our crew, and we also lost Caesar. Tragedy.
Real shame.
Enough salad.
Yeah,
Shame
we
that
lost we lost a couple like really great characters, and also Caesar and Sanji were lost.
Rip.
And they just
Nothing of
went off
value
to do
was
their
lost.
other thing, and like that's the thing that's just like it's been in the back of my mind the entire time. It's just like I'm just like part of my brain's just like, where's Sanji and Nami, and I'm just like, oh, that's right, they're all gone with Caesar. They're all gone with Caesar. What is going on? So I know that that's next, like because they're all just like,
You would
That's
think
the
this
next
would
thing.
be Caden's arc because they're just straight up like, Sanji, get out of here.
Thank you.
The thing is,
He
it's like
said,
the thing
"Okay."
is you'd think that, but and this is where I say now that I have finished Dressrosa, it's kind of like there's nothing necessarily super bad about it. It's just like it is probably my least favorite arc, which isn't really saying much because I've liked everything so far. It's just like I feel like it dragged a little bit, and
And least favorite doesn't mean bad.
Yes, I need to like point that out. Least favorite doesn't mean bad. It's just like out of everything that I've loved about One Piece, this is the thing I love the least. But that's not
Still
like
love.
I
but
still like. There's still a lot to love here. There's a lot of like really great characters that they introduced, but like
And also Mr. Pink.
and also Mr. Pink. Good God, we'll get there. But
Treble. Anyway,
Oh, and Treble. Yeah. So in all of this, we have our B team, excuse me, Nami's team goes off. And as Sabo takes Luffy's place, it's time to start the actual plan where Soldier-san
Thunder Soldier.
Oh, Soldier Son.
introduces Plan Smash or Pass. Operation Smash or Pass.
Operation
and-
Sopping Wet.
Yeah. Operation Wet. So the plan is to infiltrate in a multi-step plan to turn all of the we found out that everybody was that a lot of the citizens of Dressrosa were turned into toys, and all of the toys that we see are people that have been forgotten but still live amongst the
Power
world.
Isn't
Can
like,
This is the most let me say, one of Don Quixote's generals, one of the members of the Don Quixote family, Sugar, has eaten, I'm just going to call it the Hobby no Mi because that makes more sense because it's toys.
The Hobby
Can
Lobby know
tr-
me.
It's I can
As
confirm. I can
equally
by the way,
evil.
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 Yeah.
I can confirm 100% that it is called the hobby fruit.
Okay, so the eats
Because
the
what
hobby
else
hobby no
would you
mi.
call it?
Exactly, and can turn and is responsible for turning the people into toys. And so the plan is to knock Sugar out so that she loses anybody that she's turned into a toy up to this point,
Mhm.
reverts back to their human form, and they can start in earnest an uprising against Doflamingo. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of small stuff in between there that we'll get to as it happens.
This
Who
is a
wants to
huge-
go first?
Real quick, this is a huge segue. I was just thinking about it as you put it in those parameters. I love that, like, the way that Oda makes, like, the rules around devil fruit. I love that, like, it's a conscious decision. Like, she could go to bed and they're still toys the next day, right? But you have to, like, it's like almost like D&D where it's like you have to break concentration to break a spell. Like, I hadn't really thought about it that way before, but that's really cool. Anyway,
It's the
also,
most magic devil fruit that we've experienced so far.
and I do
just
want to
straight
just
up
tell Kaden straight up, this woman is in her 20s.
Yes.
By the way.
No. That's explicitly stated that, like, when you eat the hobby no mi, it freezes your aging,
Mm-hmm.
but you
Problematic anime trope.
you still get older. You still get older. You still age, but you don't physically age. So it's like when you're 100, you'll probably still die, but you'll look how old you were
But
when
you
you
look
ate
great.
the hobby no mi.
You look great.
You'll be on fleek, but you'll still be dead.
Don't.
Yep.
No.
Dab.
He'll
one
be
of the things,
yeeted into the
and-
great beyond.
So two things I want to point out is, Al, you mentioned problematic trope, and I agree. I will say props to Oda for not falling prey to the nonsensical stuff that usually permeates character design with this. And she just looks like she's just looks like a kid. Like, it's
Got a
not
kid
like
and then like a cute little hoodie, like a little bathrobe hoodie.
like nothing creepy about the character design other than the fact that she turns helpless people into toys and removes their existence from freaking reality, which is
She just looks like a little kid and is the muscle enforcing an apartheid state.
yeah,
just
like
that.
there's
Just
the other
that
thing
deal.
that's there's the legitimately horrifying thing, and then there's the, like, at least her design isn't it's like,
And Miss Golden Week teamed up. This
Ooh,
world will be
unstoppable.
dominated by two little girls.
yeah, it's
Around the world, girls.
So there is one thing that I want to point out is that they know that Sugar, like the Doffy's whole, like, Dork gang here, knows that Sugar is susceptible to,
Doffy's Dork gang.
so that's the title of the episode.
Yes, it is.
So Sugar is easily susceptible because, again, frozen at age 10, still grows older, but, like, is still physically like a kid in that. So it's, like, very susceptible to, getting bonked over the head with a frying pan, to bring back a joke from earlier. So they have
Children's
somebody
weaknesses.
guarding Sugar, and it's literally like the top officer of the top three officers.
That's the top officer.
Of the Don Quixote pirates, which is Treble. And I'm going to say one thing. How
Gross.
dare you? How dare y'all not tell me?
No.
How dare y'all not tell me? It's Alejandro.
I specifically at
Yeah.
some point told you that Alejandro was coming back in this arc, but it was like months and months and months and months.
It was a while ago.
So
Yeah.
I went and I was just like, I gotta hear this, because this is like the way the manga does. I'm just like, this dude's gonna sound wild. And I listened to him, like, dude, that's Alejandro.
Yeah.
And he's so great. It's like,
So
oh,
good.
you played like one of the grossest characters ever, but you play it so clean, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
When I
Now,
originally,
and I think there's only one more role that you haven't experienced Alejandro in yet. Pretty
but
much.
we'll do it soon. It's the next movie, right?
Yeah, it's in gold.
It's in gold? Oh, awesome. Okay, cool.
When I originally DM'd Alejandro, this is behind the scenes, for something, maybe we'll do. I don't know. It'll happen. I specifically messaged him about Marineford, and he was like, "Oh God, I totally forgot I did voices in that arc." And I was like,
freaking noticed him immediately in the background.
And I was like-
no, that's you 100%.
as I was talking to him, I had opened his wiki because I didn't realize. Like, I think I knew he was in film Gold, but I didn't realize he had done anything else after that. Like, just because I hadn't been keeping up, I didn't watch Dressrosa. and being like, "Oh yeah, you have like you are a main bad guy." And I'm like talking about some background character in Marineford.
You're just like it's like
Main
hey, can you-
antagonist.
let's like you mean not the one that I'm like
You were
I'm in,
Marine
like,
number 12.
it's like 100 episodes.
Like we were literally talking about Marineford at the time, and those are my episodes. So I like deep dived into the wiki and saw that he had done voices for it. So then I was like, that's great, but I didn't look past like the initial Marineford page, right? Like I didn't go to
Yeah.
his specific wiki.
So
I'm so sorry, Alejandro. You were an incredible voice.
you can
actor, and I
apologize
just-
to him when we eventually can get him on the podcast. All
Yeah,
right,
now,
you can
now we
apologize.
can do it.
Now we can do it.
Yeah.
But like, and so Treble has the basically the what was
Snot,
it?
snot, know me.
It's the no. It's literally called the sticky no stick
it's
fruit or
worse.
sticky
It's
fruit.
boogers.
worse. He's
But
a sticky boy.
but
Sticky boy.
it was like beta no mi, which is because and beta is like clingy, sticky. But he's made out of boogers, and it's gross.
He's a big booger boy.
He's literally he's got a booger coat.
Real
And
quick,
the thing is, it's like
A coat of many boogers.
listen,
Real quick.
it is cool to look at, but
just for the fans at home, real quick, Al, how much do you love this character design?
A lot.
it's awesome, but it's gross.
so
Got the
gross.
grippy nose.
Mission
But-
accomplished.
Yeah.
It's like one in a long line of Oda just knocking it out of the park as far as like, what? How can I embody this specific word? Here
Yeah.
we go. Sticky. Wow, that looks sticky. Good job, Oda.
He looks
Wow, that
wet.
looks sticky.
That is the stickiest
The
thing I've
fact
ever
that-
seen.
The fact that Oda, and this is again a testament to One Piece, the fact that Oda could take the anime trope of the kid with the snot dripping out of
Yeah.
it and turn it into like a
Wind Waker
main
kid.
antagonist. It's like, first of
Wind
all,
Waker kid.
Wind Waker kid grows up to be a complete dickhead.
He wasn't already a
Great
dickhead.
pull. Molly, that was a great pull.
But it's just
I
like
said
it's
it
so.
last time. Too.
Oh, that's right. That's okay.
And
I'm sorry.
like the cool,
okay.
the
No, no,
cool
no, it's
thing,
okay.
the cool thing is that like we get to see Treble in like a lot of different forms. Like as we go through, it's like we see Treble younger, and then we see Treble now, and Treble's just like it's kind of just like an older dude now. Where like and his design changes like pretty considerably, and you could see like more of like his body mass. Just like, what if I just replace it with boogers?
Yeah.
What if I'm less person and more snot?
What if the
That's
king
cool.
of town was boogers?
The one like cool thing about the flashbacks in this arc is that he does like a lot of flashbacks where we can see the entire gang and when new people show up, and it's like it's cool to see. Like I don't care about this character, but it's cool to see like who he was in his prime. And now I think he has that like old man skinny, but he is like again like one of the top officers, so he like his coat is thicker with more of his ability to like hide the fact that he's just like a skeletal,
He's just
Gross guy.
just a
Yeah.
bag of snot with a dude underneath.
He's got that like cat stomach,
Bones
like,
piloting a snot mech.
Syrup Island.
This is all very disgusting.
Yeah, you're
and I
welcome.
hope everybody is eating while we're discussing this.
So I
I'm
want to
sipping my coffee, man.
I want to take a step
A sticky step backwards.
I want to take a sticky step backwards and talk about
Ugh.
Sugar and the Hobby no Mi.
Yeah.
This is the most horrifying and terrifying freaking thing
Yes.
that One Piece has ever added.
It's so
this-
scary and dark.
This is the
and-
scariest thing ever because literally all like the whole thing. I'm just like, there's toys. That's pretty cool. I'm just like, I don't know the science behind this, but something feels weird.
Science.
It's funny
But-
because that is what the town is like too. They're like, oh, these toys are great.
Yeah, the thing is like they just don't know.
Yeah,
Because like it was
awful.
all just like, well, they've been here since this blah blah blah, and like the fact that like family members are standing right next to their like
Yep.
their wives, husbands, kids,
They're all in a
parents,
prison of their own
it's
mind.
like, they're just like, well, this is as close as I can get, and I can't physically even speak it because one, they don't even remember, and two, I'm not allowed.
It's
and
crazy.
it's just like when they're out there, they're trying their best to enjoy and put it, but it's like it's so freaking dark, and it's again
it's
it messed me
crazy
up.
too, because it's like people are aware of sugar, like when, and like, well, I don't know how like in depth we're gonna get into it, but like when sugar gets knocked out and everyone changes back, you see that like Marines were changed, like random people were changed, pirates were changed, like the government
A
knew
giant
about her.
ape.
The government knew about her and were sending people to probably stop them, and they got changed, and then they probably just like Sengoku probably just entirely forgot he said somebody, and like that is like a form, this power is a form of grief that like makes me so sad. Like the entire concept of it, her getting knocked out was like, out of everybody I think in this arc, that I was like fucking get her ass, like get her ass.
And can we talk about that moment? I guess, Mark, go ahead.
We're going to. Dear God, are we going to? I just want to get there first. And
Yes,
we can go
okay.
in the quickest possible way. Let me just write down this cuss real quick. All right.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine.
Wait, I can't see.
You can't see?
But wait, did I say the F word or the A word?
F.
Oh, okay.
F
I was
and
just
A.
like, you can say ass on TV.
You were like effing get her ass, and I was like,
See what
all
I'm
right.
talking about, though, Mark? I don't hear it at all. It's like, I like genuinely was like, are you coming after me for ass right now? You can say that on TV.
Ass.
You can say dick, Mark. You can say dick.
I can say it.
I know you can.
Let me just say this one thing. The reason why they put treble with sugar is because they didn't want sugar to be going down swinging. Moving on.
God.
I've been holding on to that for like 15 minutes. Ever since we started talking about it, I was like, I got a dumb joke. So,
I got it.
we've got Operation Smash or Pass. We've got the Tontata wanting to go and free the captured members of their tribe, including Princess Mancherry, who is at the Smile Factory.
And literally has the coolest freaking power ever and is very sweet, and I love her.
The cutest. The Tontata rule. Like,
As a juxtaposition to these toys, that their loved ones, they can't tell them, they don't believe them that they, like were people that they knew. The juxtaposition between not being believed by your loved ones and these sweet little fairies who are like, you can tell them anything. It's like they're very gullible.
They're
it's like,
so
I love
stupid,
them.
and I love them.
I will
The
protect
Tontatas
them.
are the best.
I've known the Tontatas for 5 minutes, and I will kill everyone and myself in this room if anything bad ever happens to them.
Okay, so the Tontatas are just like they're like ridiculous. Again,
Well, they're a reference to Gulliver's Travels.
Yes.
Like the Lilliputians.
they did an entire thing where they literally tied Robin down, which
go on.
explains a lot of the art I've seen on the internet of Robin. But and I'm not going to talk about it anymore. You're welcome, Mark. But like the Tontatas are just like, they're great in that they're just I love them because they're so optimistic. Like they're such a great group of just like, oh yeah, why would anybody do anything bad? I'm just like, exactly. And then they immediately get done over. I'm just like, oh, well, we should have seen that coming. But like, I love your unfaltering optimism. You bunch of freaking little weirdos. Leo especially is just such a cute little character.
And their designs where they're like kind of weevily, like,
yeah,
it's just great.
Bien, Wicca's really cute too. And like
they ride foxes and bugs.
The linear foxes, yeah, and the little beetles, yeah.
I think there were people that you knew who voiced some of these characters, and one of their character designs got spoiled for you, and we had to like,
yeah, it was Mancherry.
We had to do a little dance to like get you to forget what you had seen. We were like, look away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like, I mean, the thing is like, whenever somebody I know gets into One Piece, I'm just like, congratulations, and I'm holding my eyes, my hand over the picture. I'm just like, I don't like, congratulations on getting in One Piece. I don't want to know what your
Whatever
character is.
you
I'll get
did, I'm
there.
happy for you.
I'm happy you're in the cool show, but
The one nice thing about One Piece is that Oda goes off so much on character design that I was like, all right, it takes a while for them to get to these types of characters. I don't think it's a major spoiler because it's like, yeah, it's like before is like show somebody who's never seen One Piece before like characters from the show and ask them based on the name of the arc where they think that would go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think the Tontata would come up anywhere.
Yeah, just so we're clear, so everybody knows. Danny Chambers, wonderful VA talent, wonderful is Mancherry in the dub. Please,
Yes.
go give
Like,
some
comment, and
props,
subscribe.
because what a first of all, what a great performance, and two, like, what an adorable little character. She's so sweet. Just like the sweetest.
The epitome of like the fairy princess.
The rosy cheek design where they're literally
Yeah.
scribbles. Like, that's,
Yes, it's
Yeah. Thank you, Al.
it's like again,
I love her
Dressrosa's character
hairstyle.
design, top tier. The arc
You know
itself,
you know what her design reminds me of? I'm not saying this is a direct reference, but it's just something that it's like how my brain connects it.
yeah.
She looks like Princess Emerald from Ray Earth. Like all she needs is to be
Ooh.
on like a little clamshell and be
That's a
like,
pull.
please save.
Yeah. Oh, I
save
haven't
my
thought about Ray
world.
Earth in a while.
I also think that the Tontata remind me of the storybook stories of
Yeah.
Noland.
Yes.
Like they have it's in a callback to that art style, and
Weird
how
that you bring that up.
and how Nolan is an important part of their culture, and Usopp claiming to be a descendant and all of that, which we talked about last episode.
Don't worry,
So-
Usopp, that won't bite you in the ass in 30 seconds.
Never will.
Wait a
Not-
minute.
Not once, not never. So, Soldier and Viola and Luffy head off. Robin and Frankie and Usopp with the Tontata go to the Sad Factory. The Sad Factory. I'm trying to get through. As those are happening,
Frankie can't go the way everybody else does. It's important to do this because this is where why Frankie ends up where he ends up later. He can't fit in the hole, so he goes to cause a distraction. So he goes to the front door and starts causing issues while everybody else goes in through the back way, which again is a very Frankie move. And I love that for him, and I love that energy. Way to go, Frankie!
And that's where we
tread legs.
That's also where we get the introduction of Senior Pink. But before that happens,
Gross.
we have a check-in with the Coliseum, and we see Sabo taking on the mantle. Diamante
Sabo is
gets
now
introduced.
Lucy.
Yeah, Sabo's now Lucy, and everybody's like,
who's this?
Everybody's like, yep, that's the same person. Not everybody,
Man,
but
officer.
generally,
Almost nobody.
yeah. There's a couple people go, that's not the same person, and that's kind of it. But yeah, so I'm just like, because we're not even to the meat.
Well, the thing is a lot of these parts, a lot of this, like, and this is why I was just like, it's probably going to be shorter because a lot of this is yada yada setups. Like, everybody's getting into position now. This is like they're operating plan SOP at the same time as Luffy and Zoro and that whole group are making their way over. Sabo has now replaced Luffy as Lucy to get the Meta no Mi. And everybody's kind of getting into place because they know the showdown is going to happen. And Luffy is now just like, I'm just going to whoop his ass. And this is like, I promise, I'm going to do it. I promise you, to literally everybody that's just like passing random toys and people's like, I'm going to go beat his ass. It's like, I don't know who that guy is.
Somebody tell me where he is.
Why is that who's in that suit and saying they're going to beat Doflamingo's ass? It's like, I don't understand what's happening.
Always thought it was really funny that this arc is like the tournament arc because the rest of the arc after the tournament is still a tournament arc. Like,
yeah,
it really is.
I do like how they used the common conceptions of a tournament arc to the advantage of the wider story of this island. And when we get there, all right, speaking of yada yada yada, let's get through it. We find out that Thunder Soldier is actually the son of King Riku and Rebecca's
father turned into a toy, and it got even sadder. So another reason to love Rebecca. And
Yeah,
The
Sad
worst
daddy.
thing
Hope
is
and
that
hope.
she literally says, it crushed me because it's like just before that, the whole explanation is like, "You're not my father." It's like, oh, and it's like, oh, that's why it hurt even worse. Oh
You're not my
no,
real dad.
My
Dad.
insides.
you're not my real dad. It's like inside I am, but you don't know that, and I can't say it. It's like,
sad.
At least it's
Um,
hot, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Trouble is trying to protect. Look, we're far away from that SOP, as opposed to the current Operation SOP. I guess I'm gonna have to call the Dressrosa one Operation SOP.
yeah, the Dressrosa it's a smasher pass, smasher pass, sop. The sop know me.
Sop, sop.
Ugh.
No.
Speaking of Sop, Usopp ends up being the lone survivor of the raid of the Sad Factory. But as Treble gets distracted, Usopp gets the shot in on Sugar to knock her out, transforming everybody back up.
This is where he literally calls out the Tontada too. It's like, you're stupid. You believed everything I said, and they're right for calling you out on your stupidity and not believing in believing me. You're just dumb as hell, and I can't believe you did that. Anyway, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna prove that I'm still worthy of it by being a god.
By being a hero. Like
You don't miss.
they
You don't
try
miss.
firing the Tabasco. It goes back into Usopp, but makes him make the weirdest face that freaks Sugar out and makes her pass out, which
Yes.
is like that face has become so iconic for because it shows up twice. But
They
with
finally
that,
added to the Discord.
we get the concept of God Usopp.
God.
Usopp frees the toys,
Technically a
And-
promotion.
and the shot of getting Haruden lifting a lifeless Usopp up that's like half dead
Jesus.
with
In a
the
ray of light.
yeah, and it's phenomenal. So this is where everything starts to rack up, where Kairos is back, Kairos being the name of Thunder Soldier, and all of the humans wake up, and this for me was the moment where like the true horror of everybody realizing, I forgot that I had a husband 15 years ago, or like the one comic relief of the woman going, "Oh my god, I have a boyfriend," and her
Yeah.
current boyfriend going, "What?"
Yeah,
But
that's
like the
fucked
true
up.
horror of everybody.
Wow, your mom lets
Waking
you have
up.
2 boyfriends?
Let's go.
But this moment where the entire island goes, "Oh no, this dude's got to go."
It's that
but-
TikTok. Oh no. Oh,
Oh,
no.
no,
Oh,
no. And this starts the counter attack, and I say counter attack. Don Flamingo's strategy to essentially silence the citizens is the birdcage, a giant sharp string birdcage that is slowly moving in on the capital to bring everybody in and kill them.
It's the biggest slap chop you've ever seen, and it's slowly
Ugh.
constricting on the city.
Would you
And
say
so-
it's the final countdown?
So I would say that.
So like this is where I would say this is where the real actual tournament stuff comes in. But also I would also quantify this as the second big war of One Piece that we've seen. This is the second big war because now we actually have enemies, teaming as like historical enemies teaming up to go against something that is far beyond them in general. We have Marines, it's like we have Marines, we have pirates, we have, prisoners, we have, people who used to work for Don Quixote, we have people who, it's everybody like, okay, who's on whose side here and how are we going to piece this all together? And there is a lot of flipping of sides in this whole thing. So it's like, it really is like, it is war in the most literal of senses, where like, there's like just so much like actually happening
And,
at
and
any
I-
given moment.
This is where the use of the tournament arc and like why do they introduce so many characters? Why do we have the person with this fruit, with this ability? Why are they showcasing all of these characters that we're probably never going to see again?
Right.
For this moment where they all turn and face one common enemy at the top of the hill, and now you're rooting for everybody.
It's
Right.
not even that. It's that the whole first part of this arc is Luffy meeting all of these guys. Like
Yeah.
they have not just a common enemy, but they also have a common ally, and they all rally behind Luffy.
And this guy wants to punch that other guy in the face.
Right. And there's some cool stuff, and I'm going to talk about one character who I really don't like a little later on, because there's a moment there that I was just like, I respect
Mr.
this.
Pink?
No, I don't respect Mr. Pink.
Is it the Jacket no me?
Mr. Pink is the worst character I've ever seen. It's just
Agreed.
the worst character that ever existed.
Not a fan of Let's
Friendship,
Baby.
just Mr. Pink has ended friendship. with
All right,
Aiden
I'm going to TLDR Mr. Pink so that everybody's like, for anybody who doesn't know Mr. Pink, and
Oh,
I wish.
Kaden, don't worry. Everybody who watches
Okay.
One Piece
Okay, cool.
cannot
So-
forget Mr. Pink.
So this is why Mr. Pink is the worst one. Like the worst one. Like the worst one. It's like I was pointing at Don Quixote this entire time. It's like, you're gonna be my least favorite. Like, I hate you. I hate your vibes. And then Mr. Pink showed up and just like, what a gross design. And then his backstory is, I met this hot girl. She said she hates pirates. I lied about my job. We got married. We had a kid. I left. The son died. She got traumatized and then went into a coma. So I wore my freaking son's bib and diaper and everything and became baby, and then still kept being the fucking pirate. It's like, you're an awful person. I want to hit you in the head with a frying pan. I like literally the growth. It's like also like young Mr. Pink is just like, wow, he looks great. And it's like, what the why did you do this? Why did you the star diaper with the Let's Baby shirt that doesn't fit, and then the bib and the
He's in mourning, but he's never went to therapy, so he has no idea how to
Dude,
do it.
please
Men will do anything
go to
but
therapy.
go to therapy.
Please go to therapy. I'm begging you.
What drives me crazy is that they try to get Frankie to relate to this character. Like, I'm like, Frankie is a different type of freak. This is not the same type of freak.
Here's the thing. And I know that was like kind of the whole like spiel of it, but the way I took it, because that's how my brain was coping with it, was that like everybody's like, oh, Senior Pig, and then Frankie shows up just like, you think that's a man? Look at me. Look at me and look at my vibes. Look at what I can offer. And because like you see people just end up switching to, it's like, oh no, wait, he's hotter than
He's a real man.
He's hotter than this baby man.
He's just like, thank you for the awakening to the realization that this guy is fucking weird.
I love their Johnny Bravo fight though. So stupid.
It was really great, and I do love the like. I do love the use of like the suplex into the headbutt. It sold everything.
Classic
like,
wrestling move.
Like the suplex into Kyun, which is like the boss of the Smile Factory, who's just really again Oda with the body type differences. I fucking love it. Sorry for dropping the F-bomb, but it was appropriate there because most shows and series don't do it, and I appreciate that Oda is just like different body types all over the place for everybody, and it's great.
I wish he'd do it more for women though, and not just equal women.
Yeah.
It's true, but at the same time, like this is kind of like he still does it more for women.
It is
than
more
most.
than everybody else.
It is still significantly more than anybody else. And I've been seeing him do more and more of it as time goes on. Because like at the beginning it
he's gotten
wasn't.
better.
And then it's gotten considerably better, and I do like that. But
Can I like, is this just correct me if I'm wrong? The moment Frankie wins that fight and suplexes, is that when the floor breaks and the sun shines on God Usopp, or was that how did the ceiling collapse again?
I think that was this around the same time.
Okay, good.
So like there's again like the fight breaks out like once the Tontada tribe jumps in, it's all war, and then it becomes like we've got what was it? Pika turns out is out in the field with the tiny voice. Really tiny
Let's talk
voice.
about Pika for a second.
I would love to talk
Batman.
about Pika.
I was molded by it.
This absolute unit, this
Or
colossal.
like, I
was molded by it.
I was molded by it. Shit,
What
right.
a wonderful
Zorro.
decision. Like, we needed this break. We need as much comedy with how dark this, like, the story of all of the toys was. And just to have that straight up thing of like, all right, we gotta go. We've got a mission. Pika opens his mouth and everybody stops, turns and goes, I'm sorry, what?
But
grass taste, little man?
have you heard the dub? Because
No.
if you haven't,
It is literally talking like this.
Good. That's
It's
great.
literally like this, super
They
squeaky.
knew-
it's like,
They
oh,
knew the
it's
assignment.
awesome. It's
They did know the assignment. And Pika
it's
Pika saw
amazing.
the Let's Baby shirt and went, bet.
The clip of
baby bitch.
Bitch, you have
And
the
again,
Let's
it's
Baby
like-
shirt, but I have the baby voice.
again another terrifying character. His ability is insane and scary.
Yes.
And,
Again,
like,
it's terrifying.
the cut through it with like it's the push the button, you get like one of the strongest powers in this world, but you talk like this, like
Yeah.
but
I'm
then
the world's strongest man. Why are you laughing?
the clip of Zoro and Luffy just like roasting him, that is probably the most viewed, like that is the clip I see the most on my feed. I gotta be honest, like everybody loves the way that Zoro's Japanese voice actor laughed in that scene. I see it so much.
It's probably just legitimate. Probably
Yeah.
just like, we're gonna play this for you. Just laugh for us. just give us a couple laughs.
But to clarify, I guess everybody should be caught up if they're listening to this, but Pika can become the earth. Like any stone, dirt, whatever, Pika becomes that and uses it to destroy people, and at any size. Like
Also-
the whole island was shaped by him, probably.
Al, I have to ask you a question. Thoughts on the character design?
Ridiculous, absurd, amazing, but bizarre. He's got those spike implants inside of his shoulder meat, like these little pokey things coming out. It's just
It reminded me of that fish on SpongeBob that brings Patrick to the boxing match.
yes, which has to be a tweet you probably already have.
And
no,
the
I
man,
tweeted
and the
it
man
on the day that
carrying
you
the
recorded.
actual competitor.
Ah, that guy. Yeah, like the more I look at the two side by side, I'm like, it's the same. They're both purple and yellow.
It's the same.
And-
It's the same picture. You just gotta.
Yeah, this is the same picture. The
This is
only
the same
the only
picture.
giveaway is that there are fish in the one that's from SpongeBob, like
Yeah.
on either side.
Yeah,
That's the only thing. God, if I need to figure out Photoshop better to put Pika
You
in
wanna?
that area. Anyway,
in the background from SpongeBob.
instead of the fish. Okay, let's talk about Law's tragic backstory.
Can I before we get to that, I want to talk about
Okay.
one more Don Quixote person
Okay.
because at the same time there's something else going on. Who was somebody who was serving Pika, which is Baby 5, not to be confused with.
Oh,
Let's
I was going to bring up
Baby
Baby 5,
Five.
but that's absolutely, we could talk about Baby 5.
So there's literally okay. So there was Sai, who is a part of the competition in the tournament arc earlier, and Sai is in this fight in the middle of everything, and like Baby 5 gets convinced to ditch the Don Quixote pirates because Sai is just a good dude. Just like a genuinely like, I don't fucking care about this bullshit. I don't care about it. I don't care about any of this at all. Just stop it. Just stop doing bad things. Just stop.
What?
And like in him being just a decent human being, Baby 5's just like, well, I think I really like you. I love you. It's like, well, I'm not gonna be with somebody who's that awful. It's just like, okay, well, I guess I should just not be around anymore. So, well, don't die. I don't want you to die. That's stupid.
Sai is basic human decency,
Yeah.
of which Baby 5 has not ever experienced
Right.
before.
And it's like okay, relatable. But also Baby 5 has what I would say is one of the coolest devil fruit powers
It
we've
is
ever
really
experienced,
cool power.
which is the Buki Buki no Mi, which is arms fruit, aka she could turn everything into weapons.
Mhm.
Everything is a gun.
It is
or a
also a
sword.
gun. Literally everything.
She's that one part of the mask where he pulls out all of the weapons.
Yes. Yeah, and it's just like what a cool, like, what a great character. Just like really interesting. And again, a lot of this arc is, did you know that a lot of the people who are here and doing bad things have not been shown basic human kindness? Anyway, here's a bunch of people who just love showing other people basic human kindness. And now they're fighting the bad guys because they've realized what they were missing out on this entire time. It's like, oh, it's just so it's such a fun.
Well, it shows how gross Doflamingo is.
Exactly.
For sure.
And speaking of
also
how
Treble.
gross, speaking of how gross he's always been,
There it is.
we get a little bit of his backstory, and we find out that he was a celestial dragon until his dad was like, you know what? No, let's live amongst the people. And that was a bad decision because nobody liked that. And as a result, he shot and killed his father for ruining his life, quote unquote.
Yeah, that's pretty
Classic.
rough, buddy.
Classic child behavior.
Yeah.
Classic child behavior. Still wearing sunglasses. That's how you know it's still business.
Still has a giant vein in his forehead.
That's
Yes.
also true. Yes.
That is, can I just say real quick, that is a running bit that has yet to be addressed.
His
Why-
sunglasses?
Why he doesn't take, like, I mean, there's literally, I think, an SBS where somebody asks Oda to draw him without his glasses on. And would you believe it? Underneath his glasses is another pair of glasses.
Yeah, that was a good one. Taking
I'll find
that
that
off the
for
quiz.
Kaden.
Doffy making a very like goofy smile while doing that, holding two pairs of glasses.
Well, it makes the impact of knowing that he went down mean something. Because the thing that is the indicator to the audience that he lost is his glasses have been knocked off of his face and they're shattered.
Yes.
And so it's been that was a wonderful payoff to an establishment of, here is this person who always has something to hide, literally cannot hide anymore.
Well, it's this entire arc is we're learning of all these good and bad characters, and all the bad characters are manipulated by specifically this guy.
Mhm.
This guy is the reason all this bad stuff has happened to this country.
He pulls all the strings.
Wait a fucking second. Sorry,
God damn
Mark.
it. So it's multiple backstories in the sense of, we learn that he had a brother named Rosinante. Rosinante, fun fact about me, a friend of mine once won a Rosinante statue from a comic convention and was like, I don't know who this is, and gifted it to me, and I went, I don't know who this is. That's but you know, in going back, I was like, oh wait, no, Rosinante is great. But it's just funny that the One Piece statue that I have is Rosinante. And to tighten it up a lot, what did we think of all of the stuff that we learned about Law in this backstory, where he's the last survivor of a nation? He has I need to figure out the right way to say this. His middle initial is also D. He is Trafalgar
He
D.
has
Law.
the D.
Yeah, I was gonna say that in a way that would have just been clipped infinitely.
So
And
so
he-
you're
he-
saying that
he's
when
recovering-
when you read Law's name together, it's Laud?
It's oh Lord,
Oh,
oh
Lord,
Lord,
help
he
us.
coming.
Oh Lord, he coming.
And we learned
Thank
that
you.
he had a terminal disease, of which
Hilarious.
Rosinante was trying to help cure, just to give him hope, because he was the saddest child, and arguably still is. But
World's saddest child.
absolutely.
Can we talk about how Corazon is Zengoku's like adopted son?
Something like that. It was a thing, like we found out that Rosinante ended up joining, like, being a spy for the military and worked directly under Sengoku to try to undermine Doflamingo and everything that they were planning to do. And in the process of that, Doflamingo was trying to find the Ope Ope no Mi. Rosinante finds out that the Ope Ope no Mi is one of the things that could actually cure Law,
Mm-hmm.
and feeds it to him. and as a result of all of that, gets shot with the same gun that Doffy used to kill their father.
Can I just say, great for like only like a couple chapters, incredible character arc. Like this guy grew up rich. He went out into the world, got his ass kicked by everybody that they've ever, like has been slighted by the celestial dragons. And then he gets adopted into he basically becomes like a child soldier, gets adopted into the Marines. And then he sees Law and he gets to know Law, and he just is like, gives up all of his personal morals and is like, no, fuck the government. I'm gonna help this kid. I'm gonna help this kid. And then even uses his like intel with the Marines to like find out about where it is and stuff. And I love that. I love that for him. Like that guy went through so many different emotions in such a short amount of time. And that's just crazy to me. It's also a great juxtaposition between Doflamingo and Corazon of like, they literally went to every hospital. Like he believed in people who weren't celestial dragons to help a child because like he knew, like I don't know what the thought process was there. If it was like, they'll definitely help this kid because he's not a celestial dragon, i.e. like not what I went through. And they continue to like say no and get out. And like, this kid's contagious, kill him. Like from like knowing the kid isn't actually contagious. Like that is something that the Marines spread. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, there's a way to like tie this together, and my brain can't connect the dots right now. But I don't know. It's something to be said, I guess.
It was like in regards to how they both had the same upbringing, but turned out so very different. Like
it's like cool motive, I guess, but like that doesn't give you
it's still
the
murder,
right.
bro.
Yeah, but it's like doesn't give. It's like it's like I had a bad childhood too, but that doesn't give me the right to treat everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have a lot of thoughts about Corazon, and it's only like maybe 4 or 5 chapters with him, and it's not I mean, he's a beloved character in the fandom, I'll say that. Right there next to Law, but like I haven't thought about him in a minute, and rereading this arc all in one go instead of like week by week when I originally had read it, and just having a lot of feelings and thoughts about everything is whole.
The guy's a hero. He's heroic and also a clown.
But it's like, but
he's the clown. This one's the clown. Okay,
yes.
Out of everybody who's like, Caesar clown or Buggy the clown, this one's the clown. This one specifically
doesn't have the title, but did go to clown college.
Went to clown college, got the degree. It's like does all the stuff intentionally, has the makeup, does all the stuff. It's trying to be funny, trying to make the kid laugh. This one's the clown. This one is the clown and the wholesome clown. All the other clowns are just like clown by I don't know, name and title alone, but they didn't go to clown college. They didn't do anything.
They got the honorary clown doctorate.
the also, yeah, that's it. And also like his devil fruit, like just what an interesting devil fruit to give this dude.
Yeah,
but then also like that's still it's somewhere.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
But it's just like I don't know. It's like for such a goofy character, right? Like this guy and everything he did for Law in like maybe a year, like in total, like has now shaped this young man who is like doing everything in his path. Like all of the moves that Law is making right now are from like they all stem in this like flashback, right? Like he's like going out there, he's trying to find, information. He's doing this, he's doing that. He's taking down Doflamingo while he's at it. And it's like
15, 16 years worth of planning.
Yeah. And like he hid out in like North Blue, I think, before he took off in Ace's generation. And like was so meticulous that he ended up being part of Luffy's generation. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's like for somebody that like, I don't necessarily care a lot about Law. I think he's so like everything around him is incredibly interesting. And I don't know how that's going to play out, but I know it's important.
Yeah. Finding out that this was he turned,
personal matters into business. He worked himself into a shoot by being like, oh, well, I wanted to take this guy out anyway, but also does go into taking down Kaido. So that works. That works. Great. Let's do that.
It's like every step he's made along this way has led to this moment. Like him becoming a warlord, like him like working with the government, even though he hates the government. Like you see in this flashback, like all of the stuff that the government messed up with him with in that regard. And like also, did you guys talk about how in these flashbacks we see a certain Marine?
Which one?
Anybody remember this?
What's that?
I don't know. Were they drawn hot enough?
Yeah, were they did.
No, not at all. I actually hate this character, but I think it's very interesting. No,
was it Ford? Was it the legendary Marine Ford?
It's Fjord. No, everybody's I'm not a cop. Ex Drake is in this flashback. Did anybody notice that?
I didn't.
The pirates that have the Ope Ope no Mi, that's Drake's father, and there's a kid in that scene, and that is Drake, and you can tell it's him based on like the cut on his face or whatever.
Oh, I thought it was because of his butt chin.
Well, his dad, he also looks like his dad, so
fair enough.
That's easy. That's how you find them or whatever. But yeah, some of the Marines like finally show up on this island, then they just like, well, we lost one child soldier, time for another, I guess. But yeah, he's tied in there. Thought that was interesting.
That's a tee up for something later.
Apparently, I was the only one that thought that was interesting and remember that.
Completely over my head.
I hate this not a cop guy, and somehow I remembered this. I don't know. But yeah,
Law's a ass. Mm-hmm. And as we zap back to modern day,
Brannigan.
All right, let's. Now we're in the point where
thank you.
We're in the end game now, and the last thing, sort of in sequence, that I want to bring up is we get Luffy versus Bellamy 2 with completely different stakes.
Okay, so this is what made me go, oh, Bellamy's not that awful, but I still hate him so much.
Yeah, I agree.
It was one of those things that's like it was just like, I respect you in your choice here, dickhead.
When they make a man cry, I'm willing to listen.
Also, I'm down with the whole thing of just like, well, I made my bed, I might as well lie in it. But it's like, also like, no, you don't. Luffy is literally giving you an out, fam. It's like, you can just stop at any point in time. It's like, no, I'm gonna spring around the room so hard that I'm gonna die. It's like, well, probably don't do that, please. It's like, I'm gonna do it anyway. It's like, okay, well, I guess I just have to bonk you in the head with a frying pan. And it's kind of
at that point, is he under Doflamingo's control?
No, he is for
Not
a bit,
yet.
but then like after like so they fight for a bit, then he goes under Doffy's control, and then Doffy releases him, and Bellamy's just like, I'm doubling down, and Luffy's just like, are you stupid? I mean, I'm stupid, but are you stupid? Because you should probably stop. And then Doflamingo, even Doflamingo's just like, that's pretty dumb.
This dude's
let's go for it. This dude's stupid as hell. Go for it, you stupid idiot. And then Luffy like bonks him.
No, it's like, and I understand what everyone's saying. I get it. But like, it's one of those things, even with like Luffy, that I think Luffy understands the best, where it's like, this guy is gonna, he's gonna fight with his convictions, right? Whether he's right or wrong. Like, there's a very like macho man type thing. They do this a lot in this series. It's like that, like, I'm gonna go down with these convictions, whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong, whether I'm stronger or you're stronger. And it's like, even though Luffy's like, dude, just stop. Like, we'll be cool. Like, he's not mad at Bellamy for still trying, even when he's not under Doffy's control. Like, he understands. Like, Luffy understands, even if like he doesn't agree with it, he understands, and I love that.
He gets it. It's
a normal person against toxic masculinity, and
it really is.
He's trying to talk him out of it.
I like the thing about Bellamy. It's like not really a spoiler because it's like, listen, he's not coming back. I just love that after this arc.
Hey, throw him overboard.
I love it. I love after this arc, Doffy's like, or not Doffy, Bellamy is like, you know what? I think I'm done. Like I
think I quit.
out of everybody who's like, you'll see me next time and you'll regret it, Straw Hat, or like, I'm gonna be a bigger pirate than you, or I'm like, I'm gonna beat you to the One Piece. Bellamy's like, you know, I've had to change of heart. You know what?
Maybe this sucks.
What if I opened a cafe? You know, I'd really like that. I like that. Maybe a bar and grill. Would that be cool? I like that. Like, out of everybody, that guy was just like, you know what? I try to fight for my convictions and I got my ass kicked, and I feel like I can walk away from this now. And it's like, good for you, man. Like that guy like didn't have to go to therapy because he
Bellamy really came out of Dressrosa with an extra spring in his step. But from this,
God damn
Make him stop. Somebody swear again.
We don't ever have
please,
to talk
it's so long.
we don't ever have to talk about Bellamy ever again, though. So
We don't, thankfully.
Until we do, that you don't know about yet.
That's, you know what, that's
I
fair.
mean, you got us there.
I truly expect any character to even to have like a spirit bomb moment, you know, of just to be like, where are they in life right now when they just like turn to the camera and say, Luffy, I believe in you. And I imagine that's where we're going to see Bellamy again.
I'm waiting for the guy who's stuck in the chest to just show up and be a crucial moment of when
He's the One Piece.
One Piece. He's in there. That's the guy.
God.
He's the One Piece. It was that stupid little treasure.
Imagine how stupid Buggy would feel even more.
He spent all the money and made a zoo.
It's like, I spent a stupid amount of time with this guy, and Gaimon was the One Piece. Come on.
He was the one.
Stupid. Anyway.
Stupid.
It's about the One Piece that you met along the way.
A lot happens. Now, I'm gonna toss this up. Who wants to talk about what when it comes to the birdcage tightening up and the uprising and the Luffy versus Doffy or whatever? Because a lot happens within this in this arc in general.
Caden's a good yada yada person. Caden's a good yada yada person.
No, but I mean, like, what is not go through it, not like timeline it, but what stood out? What stood out to everybody? What was something that what
I loved when Bardo met Robin and all of the Robin fights.
Yeah, all the stuff with Bartolomeo and Cabbage. We haven't talked about Cavendish at all.
Nah,
which is kind of like,
and that's fine.
Literally, Cavendish is just like, okay. So like at the end of this, there's a whole thing that I've been waiting for, and I'll get there. But like, there's just like all these people saying all this stuff, and then Cavendish is there. It's just like, thanks, Cabbage. It's like, don't you remember who I am? It's like,
nah.
Thanks, Cabbage. Anyway, Bartolomeo, you want to go get a drink? Bartolomeo literally is my like. If there is anything pure of heart that came out of this, it's Bartolomeo and his energy. What a sweetheart.
He gets introduced as such a bastard. Like, he is pissing
so
off the platform on the tournament, and then immediately
gotta pee.
Like, oh my heroes are here. Like,
you know what? When you gotta pee, he can't leave.
Yeah. No, I just feel like his whole intro, like, again, it's like when Oda like introduces like the worst people in the world, and they are like they're like, oh, I like this guy. Like, I don't care, you know what I mean? It's like
I love Bartolomeo. Bartolomeo is like probably has become one of my favorite One Piece characters, hands down.
Well, in a way, Bartolomeo is Oda's love letter to the fans. It's like giving the fans some agency by putting a fan in the comic.
And the thing is, it's like again, he's what a useful character to have. Like a useful character, a passive devil fruit turned into an offensive devil fruit is my favorite way that Oda uses these. So, well, how are you going to turn this into something that's like, and here we go? Because Oda's going to be like, watch me do this. Watch this cool stuff that I'm about to do. You're going to love this. And turns this like, it's the barrier, Nomi. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with a barrier? Just block? And it's just like pushing people, people off. It's like, go away. I'm gonna put you in a box and suffocate you. That's terrifying. Awesome. I love this. There's so much cool stuff that Bartolomeo does, and then Cabbage is there.
Thing I'll say, like, that it's like on my mind right now, and like this whole final part is that like the thing I really liked, like I like when there's like no, like, how do I want to phrase this? I like when stuff has continuity, right? Like a lot of the time Luffy loses teeth and then he just drinks a glass of milk and he's fine. But like the fight with Robin, she gets like scarred on her back and they consistently keep that. And I like, it's like such a crazy thing that happens.
I think it was
like
because it was a thematic moment for like everybody else involved, especially Rebecca, where it's just like, oh, I can't. So literally, it's like we've got her dad and then her, and Rebecca's just like, no more people being hurt because of me, and he's just like, Rebecca can't. It's like, I don't want you to fight anymore, and Robin's just like, you go do your thing. Nobody will get hurt because of Rebecca anymore. I'll take care of her, and everything's gonna be fine. And then she does this whole like, very very cool tree flower display to block it. And it's like, and then you see just the damage it does to her because all of the things like rain down. It's like, oh, you took that hit and you just didn't say anything about it because like you knew the damage it would do to their hearts if you did. It's like, again, Robin being my favorite character, period, hands down, because of just like her convictions standing true in every situation. It's like,
the forever
love
MVP.
Her. It's like 100% like, well, it's why I love her character so much, because it's even in those small moments where it's just like, it's kind of brushed off. It really is. Cause like you see it and then it's consistently drawn, but like nobody really brings it up and Robin doesn't complain about it. But it's like, that's something that Robin is now carrying with her. It's just something that is a part of her and a part of her story and a part of her own journey now from like, getting away from, it's like her captors in the first place. So she's like, I'm not going to let people be like that. I'm not going to let somebody else suffer the way that I did. And her convictions. Yeah.
It gives all of us a really good reason to hate this Steve Tyler motherfucker.
Yeah. It's
Diamante.
It's but again though, it's like how we were just like applauding Oda for drawing a variety of women now, or like body shapes and stuff like that. It's like, I like it because like, again, it's like Luffy drinks milk, his teeth come back. Like if like, Nami did scar herself, but they put a tattoo over it. Like her and Robin kind of get away. I mean, I understand it's like a thing in like a cultural thing in Japan where it's like to be like a woman and be scarred is like one of like the like, oh, poor her or whatever. How unfortunate for her beauty or something like that. But like, it's just like, yeah, Oda, like, thank you for having the balls to like have Robin
another ordeal.
Those. Like they're not on display, but he will draw, like if her shoulder is exposed, he will draw like a little bit of like the edges of it, like so it's still there.
And I really appreciate that. And again, like I think it's less important that it's more of a like a cultural like, oh no, but more important in the sense of like Robin isn't afraid of scars, especially now and especially anymore, because like a lot of everything that she had as far as her own agency was hiding all that stuff for the benefit of people not knowing her. And this is kind of like her not giving it the time of day because what's in front of her matters more. And like it's a different kind of like, I'm doing this to protect people. Like before it was, I'm running away from this because if I go around and hung around people, it's going to hurt them. This is, I need to be around people so I can help them from being hurt. And it's like, that is the growth there.
Exactly. Like her conviction is crystallized. Like,
exactly. It's basically, it's the same conviction, just shifted to the left and more towards like, it's not an absence of self-preservation because she does not want to die, but it's the idea of
she knows she can carry it.
Exactly. It is exactly that. And we also get to see Robin do a lot more cool stuff like the big giant hand smashies, and I'm just like, we get to see Robin flex a little bit.
I like it because I feel like it's one of the like first times that we kind of see, I mean, they don't even outright say it, but it's like, I like to think that like she was able to kind of step into her own when she was working with the revolutionaries, because that's what they do. They go around and free countries. They go and free slaves. Like, for her to like kind of step into this moment, I feel like is a visual for like what she probably was doing off screen.
Yes.
Especially because the revolutionaries are there. It's like,
Except
I
for
don't know.
Sabo.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting.
Robin must have known.
What do you mean?
She
That he
spent
was
all
alive?
that time with revolutionaries. This is like, oh, hey, I know this guy.
Yes.
It's just,
I mean, yeah. At the end, her and Koala like hug, and
yeah, it's just like, it's just
that's
like,
hi to Sabo.
it's
Yeah,
But
she
also,
did-
if she was spent all of the time being a spy, she knows what information she should give or what should not. Maybe Sabo asked her,
No, yeah,
"Hey,
he
I
definitely
want to
was
be
like,
the one."
the
I'm
thing
gonna
is,
go see my
Robin
little
would have
brother.
not known.
what do you mean?
And it's like Robin would have not known, and then it's just like, oh, hey, yeah, because like, no, yeah, it would have been right around the same time. It's like, yeah, he probably was like, please don't tell Luffy. I want to tell Luffy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he like at the time that it happened, right? So when Sabo remembered Ace, it was after Ace had died. So they had already been split up. So Robin was en route to get to Dragon's crew when he passed out. So he would have met Robin, known Robin was part of the Straw Hats, probably like interrogated her about how Luffy's doing, and then had probably came up with a whole scheme of like, well, my little brother's not going to like it if I just show up and like, you know, like mess with his adventures. I'm going to find the perfect way to segue in.
Here's
But I can
Robin
say hi
being
to
just
him
like,
again.
meet us at Dressrosa. I know we're gonna end up there. Don't ask me how I know.
Texts him.
Yeah, it's literally just like, hey, just letting y'all know we're going over here. This is a good opportunity.
Just like drops the pin of like the Dressrosa Denny's. Yeah, there's
Denny's
a lot.
Rosa.
There's a lot I'd love to like
Denny's
discuss
Rosa.
about all of this that like Oda has not, like Oda's given us crumbs to, that I think are so interesting. That's just like, you know, it's like where everybody went during the time skip. It's like Robin went to people with a lot of plot that we don't know anything about.
I love her.
Like the fact that she's just sitting on that and is not like, oh, Luffy, your dad says hi or something like that. Like,
shout out to the literally, I'm just gonna do this. This is my favorite thing about Robin. Robin knows everybody, and then it's just like, yeah, I just didn't mention it. It's like, well, why didn't you mention it? It's like, well, I mean, I didn't think it was important. I didn't want to just like, it's just like, hey, humble brag, I know that dude, just really cool. It's like Robin's just like, yeah, you know.
it's not even that. It's that, like, I think Robin knows that Luffy won't care, and so she's like, "Well, then I don't need to say it then." And
Well, the
it'll be
thing is,
even
like
funnier
other people will care. Like
no,
Usopp
that's what I'm saying,
cares.
though. No, that's what I'm saying. Is that she knows
Can't
the
help
captain
it.
doesn't care, but she knows that there's going to be a really funny reaction if she sits on it for a little while. She
I
knows that
love-
Nami and Usopp will react, and she has to get those views.
She needs those. Like,
She
comment,
waits
and
for it to be
subscribe.
relevant again. It's like, again, it's like she is like, things are happening around Luffy, and at the end of the day, Robin is the one who's going to get the, you know, the secret stones or whatever. It's like Luffy's not there for that information, right? Like, we are there with Robin to get that information. That information is not for Luffy. That is for Robin, and she deserves it. And like the rest of us want to know what's going on as well.
I'm gonna keep all of this for me as a treat.
Yeah, basically.
I love that. It's because she's like I'm focusing on the people who are core to me, and everybody on the outside that I might know or might be aware of. It's not pertinent until it's pertinent. It's just like,
But
until it's there, then I don't need to bother with it.
It's like, that's what I like though, right, about this time skip. Like, I kind of talked about it last time, and I realized like afterwards that it was actually like after that moment. But it's like Nami being like, everybody on the crew has their own goal that is revolving around also Luffy becoming the Pirate King, right? Like, it's not everybody's goal for him to be the Pirate King. They're helping him along the way while also doing their own goals, like trying to find like a mysterious ocean or map the entire world, right? Like, everybody has their own goals. But I like that even though what they're doing right now to like take down Kaido, to like, you know, get Big Mom, like that is steps to the goal at hand, there's still moments where Nami can be like, Luffy, let's help I want to help these kids. And Frankie being like, Luffy, I know it's not part of the original plan, but I want to help these guys. And Luffy being like, okay, like, you know, like, we'll make it work, right? Like, we can do, why not both? Like, we can do both. Like, both can be true. And I like that, like, in this crew, they will go where Luffy takes them, and they will do what Luffy asks of them. But at the same time, Robin is going out of her way to get the poneglyphs, even though that does help the end goal in sight, right? It's like Zoro said in the Water 7 arc, that, like, if you ever get in the way of me being the world's best swordsman, I'll kill you. Right? Like, it's like everybody has their own convictions and stuff. And I just like, there's something here that I really like, where it's like the plot of One Piece is to get Luffy to be the Pirate King. But at the same time, like, we're seeing little instances of, like, everybody else still meeting their own goals. And it's like, I feel like it's like, at first it was kind of all their character traits. Like, Nami was the navigator. She could make maps. Like, that was their whole thing. And, like, now they're kind of
Zoro,
becoming...
he was like a samurai, and
Yeah, they're all kind of like, they're all kind of branching a little bit. And I like it's growth. And I like that Oda gives us, like, little nods of it.
agreed.
Yeah.
And it also like it colors how Luffy is as a captain, because he makes room for his crew.
Yeah. And I think in the first half of One Piece, like, Luffy is very single-minded in his own goal, and then when there becomes conflict in the crew of kind of deviating from that original goal, I think he becomes a little bit more flexible, haha. Because he's made of rubber.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I get it. I got you.
And yeah, it's just like, it's seeing how these characters, there's been a 2-year time difference. Luffy is still immature, and yet he matured in other ways. Like, he's more willing to listen. It's less like goofy Looney Tunes, like, Luffy, like, now it's like, all right, Luffy, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, did Luffy just eat himself off the boat? I'm down with that. Classic
Typical Luffy.
I've been this guy in 2
What a
years. I
goofball.
missed this. Like,
That's
do you guys ever think about that?
The great introduction of Law here is that he's like the new Usopp, as far as y'all are monsters. Like,
Yeah,
what is
it's
he
great.
doing? Oh, you thought he would follow a plan?
Yeah, I love that they're just like, because it's been so long and they love him, that they're like, oh, classic. I love this guy. Like, classic. This
I
guy.
can't believe we
Eye roll.
were without this dude for so long.
And like,
But yeah.
Nami and Usopp just being like, all right, we love and respect you. We have figured out a way to schedule around your shenanigans, and we will make it work. Like, it's a different mindset, and it's just like, we still get new people reacting to the same crap that Luffy does, but it's like, it's more harmonized with the crew, and I love that.
I love that, like, everybody's just keeps getting more and more, like having Law and Bartolomeo in the same, like, season, or same like arc is great, because Bartolomeo's just like, bruh, it's so awesome. Have you seen it? In Law's just like, yes, I was there for some of it. Please don't bring it up. It was traumatic, and I don't want to think about it
PTSD,
ever
please.
again.
Don't trigger
It's
me.
like-
Don't trigger me. Getting back to the topic at hand, though, I like, leading up to the fight with Doffy, that all these people that Luffy has met are like, he's like, I'm taking this guy down, and they're like, yeah, man, poggers, but not if I get there first and, like, trip him, like. And then everybody inevitably kind of is like, all right, you go ahead, I'll stay here and fight these guys, and, like, well, you go ahead to the big bad guy, or, like, get their ass completely rinsed, and they're like, you know what, I think you should just do it. Like, I'm gonna lay here for a while.
Maybe
you take care
maybe
of it.
it's just you. Maybe you do this now.
But the climax, like, the, like, leading up to the part where Law and Luffy meet Sugar. Sugar has woken, and the sniper god, Sniper King, come in
God
with, like,
King Usopp.
a secondary killer shot is
He is
so
he is
great.
like 2 miles away.
Yeah, and it's crazy because he can't even see it. He's asking, is it Violet or Viola?
Viola.
Viola. He's asking her
It's
to
both,
look
but
for
it's
her.
Viola.
Yeah, it's like, but he's like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not looking. He's asking her specifically where he needs to be shooting, and she's got to tell him, like, which window and, like, where Luffy is in regard to the window. And it's like, it's like growth. It's, like, so cool to see, like, Usopp make that shot and know, like, like who he was on like Syrup Island. Like, I don't know. These kids are growing up.
Well, yeah, there's
before my
there's a
eyes.
couple of things. Like it's during Dressrosa where Usopp's hockey becomes awakened.
Yeah. I hope this
Didn't
doesn't
know he
awake
liked
something
hockey.
in me. Make enough of it.
That's a laugh for both of those.
Thank
But
you.
also you brought up, we have at least not a new member, but Kinemon finds the person he was looking for,
Oh yeah.
Kanjuro,
Kanjuro.
Who's
has
also cool. Also cool.
I like his whole thing. You know,
great
I like his
design.
whole
We've
thing.
got another Kabuki guy, and he can draw stuff into reality, which is only kind of terrifying.
And he's
No,
he's
it's
only
really
okay
cool.
at drawing. So
That's
Yeah,
that's
that's
that. By the
the
way,
best.
that's the devil fruit that I would give Al.
yeah, I agree.
Oh my god, absolutely.
I would
I know
agree.
that we kind of talked about it before, where it's like,
God.
oh, well, probably this person from Doffy's crew was like, nah, this is it. This is it. This is the power. This is the one.
I
Al?
love that in all the years that he's had this ability, he's never gotten better at drawing.
That's like the
call
thing is,
that
it's like
art
you don't need to
style,
be good at
friends.
it.
We call that art style. That's intentional.
get ready for a bunch of spaceships and goofy faces, y'all.
Yeah,
yeah.
Kanjuro is great. I love him being like, this is pretty fucked up, and then Kainemon's like, you get used to it. It's okay.
it's fine.
Like,
He's our
these are
comrade.
your-
The reverse
Friends?
of I can't believe Luffy did that. It's like, yeah, he does that.
But it's
Yeah.
very much like Kanjuro. It's like, Kanjuro, I need you to focus right now. Momonosuke is not here. Focus up. Like, look at me. Don't look at that.
You
Look
need
at
to
me.
keep going.
Like we
Ducky.
have
Yeah.
we have a
And-
plan and we're sticking with it.
What other freaks will we find on this journey?
God,
I
who
guess we'll
knows?
never know. But moving on, we've
I
got.
guess we'll never know.
I guess we'll never know. We'll never know. It stops here. Hey,
It's a shame
so
the show ended.
something. Yeah, it's a real. God, we can dream.
Canceled.
Can't we? We found out about something that devil fruits can do that is kind of terrifying and changes a lot of things, and we still don't know a lot about it. But Doflamingo reveals that there is a phase 2 for
This
devil
isn't
fruit
even my
losers.
final form.
Yeah,
This
where
isn't even
if
my
you
final form.
train enough with whatever your devil fruit ability might be, you can awaken it and essentially unleash its full potential.
Be a bigger freak of the week.
And that
Freak of the
means
month.
different things.
I'm your freak of the week.
That means different things for different fruits, and that's part of the reason why Pika can like become stone. Like not even just like change his body into stone, but can literally like stone shape into the stone and change his form, and why Doffy can make string doppelgangers and the bird cage and like change the string, like the very like
Use it to
foundation of what it
possess
can
people.
be. Yeah, so now we know that this is a thing, and the convenience of Oda telling us that and then showing Luffy activate Gear 4 for the first time.
God, Gear 4 is so cool.
So cool.
Gear
So
4 is
cool.
so awesome. Gear 4 is amazing.
You want to talk about design? The
Aesthetic.
sound design for Bound Man it sounds like a lead balloon bouncing.
It's awesome. Like everything
so
about
cool.
everything about it is so cool. Like everything about it is just like, this is what I was expecting. Like I feel like I've mentioned this before, but like Luffy continues to become more and more kind of like counter to what we said earlier with everybody else. While everybody else is becoming more and more of a person and less of a cartoon character, Luffy's just like, I'm more of a cartoon character than I was 5 minutes ago with every
Everybody
single
catch
thing he
up.
does. And it's like, hey, everybody's just like, yeah, we're gonna be a little bit more serious, a little bit more grounded with our personalities and everything like that. And meanwhile, Luffy's just over here, just like, it's like,
Luffy saw Bellamy double
Counterpoint.
down and was like, not if I double down first.
he's just like, counterpoint. What if we didn't do that? And Teehee, I'm the biggest cartoon character ever, and I just
But like, I mean,
Chungus.
think about it. Like, he went full Chungus with this one.
I love. Listen,
but no,
always
and-
go full Chungus.
Yeah, if you have a decision, go full Chungus.
Never half Chungus.
Always full Chungus.
But it's the thing.
Maybe
of like,
that's the title of the episode.
Always full Chungus.
Always full Chungus. We need to write these down because I already forget what the last name that we said was.
Dork, Doffy's Dork group.
Yeah, Doffy's Dork Gang. Yeah.
Dork
Yeah,
Gang,
yeah.
that's right. But it seems like the more Luffy gets to play around with like the abilities at his disposal, the more he pushes himself to his absolute limit. To
Good.
the point where in this, he goes, I just need to punch him, misses the punch. But this is where everybody up to this point, the citizens of Dressrosa, the military, the Coliseum competitors, everybody's just like, all right, we need to distract him for long enough so that Luffy can wake up and give him the one good punch.
I
And-
love
the one punch.
the announcer, the guy
Oh.
who we should never have seen ever again is like so convinced in Luffy's ability. It's like weirdly like wholesome for somebody. It's like I already forgot about you.
This man wearing a diesel train as a breastplate.
But it's, I mean, it's, I like as a wrestling fan and even as like a casual sports fan, having a good announcer make that iconic call. To
Yeah.
hear somebody else say it helps make that moment that much more powerful. And even the moment where he's choking through his tears to try to get the words out, and all of the citizens of Dressrosa are like, say it, who won Lucy, and then everybody just loses it. Everybody goes crazy. Like anybody who felt like all of their goosebumps all over their body, their heart.
I'm
Like,
goosebumping
bump-
right now, my guy.
Good news, you're now a wrestling fan. Because that's essentially, that's it. When it at its highest form, that's what it is. Yeah, we get the King Kong gun, which is
God, it's so
The
cool.
coolest.
it's so like every
A
new
ratcheting sound as his fist retracts into
that's
his
right.
forearm.
the sound design.
I
The biggest
love that
punch.
it's just like, have you learned nothing? Like, you're not supposed to punch harder, kid. You're supposed to punch smarter. And he's like, no.
It was literally just like
Yeah.
you need to figure out what you need to do to compensate for that. And Luffy's just goes,
Nah.
that's boring.
I'll just punch even harder.
What if I just
Alright.
what if I
Looks
don't?
Rayleigh in the eye and is like, no.
I bet
don't
I could
think-
punch that old man.
Sounds fake.
Luffy, no.
And he's just straight up like, okay, just think about it for a little bit, okay? And he's like, okay. And then he didn't.
Done and dusted.
Think about it. Just think about it for a second, and it's gone.
Yeah, it was like literally
Think about what?
The moment the homework assignment was like due, and he's just like, well, I didn't think about it, so here's what I got.
He's
So-
punch.
Let's talk about the lingering effects. Amazing fight. The fact that Law stepped aside so that Luffy could do what needed to be done. Law switching people around added that extra little thing, that extra drama
Just-
of, oh god,
Ah!
it's terrifying. Like Room
loved
continues to
it.
be super terrifying and really cool, and I'm excited to see what happens next with that. But the fallout of all of this is a lot. The King Riku is reinstated as the king. Because whatever. But throughout this entire thing, I want to talk more about Fujitora, because Fujitora goes up against Sabo and is like, you know what? I don't think he's that bad. Fujitora goes up, tries to stop Luffy, but Fujitora also, in acting as the entirety of the military, apologizes to King Riku and his family
What a
on behalf of
boss!
the military.
I know.
What a
love
boss
Fujitora so
move!
much.
That's big dick energy, my friend.
This is
Yeah.
this is when the cop goes, maybe we were the bad guys,
Are
and
we
all
the
the other cops are just like, bruh, and it's just like,
Yeah.
no, he's right. Say it loud.
The tastiest part of that is knowing that Aki Inu is who is the head of the Marines right now, and is like, we would never do that. I would never do that. And then Sengoku laughing in the background hysterically.
Who told you to do that?
Sengoku showing up in like vacation clothes, full gray, like eating a cracker is just like he's gone into GARP mode, and I love him for it.
Yeah. Al actually brought up a good point.
You both never and
For
always go
once.
full garb.
Al brought up a good point. One of the things that we didn't mention when we were talking about awakening is the reason why Doflamingo was looking for the Ope Ope no Mi was because when fully awakened, that the fruit user can grant immortality to one person at the cost of their own life. And that's ultimately what Doffy was training up Law for.
He wanted to sacrifice Law for his own immortality.
Yeah.
Just ultimate shithead bad guy. Sorry, Mark.
No, shit's fine. You can say that.
No, it's not.
It's one of those things that keeps being gently brought up in One Piece that terrifies me, is that every time Luffy upgrades from his other previous crazy ass form, is that somebody who knows better or has like more experience with what's happening will make the comment that your lifespan has shortened. And they have consistently done that since CP9, and the implications terrify me. And it's like, at least it's a little less terrifying now because it's not just Luffy doing it, it's other people doing it as well. And not that I'm like, well, if we all die together kind of mentality, but it's just like, it terrifies me that we're not at the end goal yet and Luffy is shaving years off his life. Like, I don't want them to get to the One Piece.
Stop.
And it's like, oh, we did it. Like, my heart, like, and Oda keeps planting these seeds. Again, Miss Wild Theorist saying that, like, you could see it from a mile away, and I hate, it scares me.
So here's where I'm gonna say I don't think Oda would do that to Luffy. That said, I think it's less about that, and I think we'll probably end up seeing something where somebody has done that and they're just like, I'm at the end of this. I have taken it as far as it can go, and I'm still fairly young, and that might be something that we'll be introduced to later. But I think that for Luffy, it's less of it's more of a situation where Luffy's just like, we're warning you that this is going to happen. We're warning you that this is going to happen. We're telling you that this is going to happen. And it's less of Luffy disregarding it because he doesn't care about himself, but more of it doesn't matter if that's the case. If I have the One Piece for a year, if I have it for 10 years, if I have it for 15 years, if I'm King of the Pirates for a minute, 10 minutes, 5 years, 100 years, it doesn't matter. The point is that I attained my goals by my own methods, in my own way, with the people I care about, and growing myself the way I wanted to. And anytime Luffy is specifically told, it's like, well, you need to adhere to all this stuff because blah, 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 that's not important. That's not important. If it's like, what I need to do is and it's in this that we see Luffy's true conviction entirely too, which is everybody's just like, oh, well, please, Luffy is like, we want to, and it's like, it's like after everything is done, and again, now we get to talk about it finally. The whole, like, we have the Straw Hat, like the Pirate Alliance. We have the full
Grand
alliance.
Fleet.
We have the Grand Fleet. We finally have this. We finally have this thing with, like, we have Cavendish, Bartolomeo, Sai,
Let's see if you can get him.
Leo,
Okay.
Harjudin, what's the punchy guy's name? He's ridiculous. He
I have
reminds
no
me
idea.
Hideo, thank you. Hideo's great. And then there's
the
the
Van
most
Gallion
forgettable. No. He's the one who looks the most like a pirate. Orlumbus.
Yes. He is, you look up a pirate in like an Encyclopedia Britannica and it's
Orlumbus.
Man looks like pirate. There it is. But like these people are just like, this is the ritual. And Luffy's like, I don't care. And it's that moment that everybody's just like, okay. Like, we get it. We understand.
Well,
like,
anyway.
they take a minute. They take a minute to like argue. And
it's like
they're just like,
Luffy being like, no, I don't want
that responsibility.
guys.
That's not what I'm here for.
Not even that though. He's like, I don't want you guys on my crew. and like them being like, "Oh, okay."
They
We're
even
gonna do
well,
it
the thing
anyway.
the thing is like it's explained this is like they're not a part of like they go through the whole thing. It's like we're not a part of your crew. We're just allying with you, which means that if you need us, blah blah blah. And Luffy's just like, oh cool. Well, I don't like alcohol. I'm not gonna drink it. And also, like, there's not enough room on the boat. And it's like, no, we have our own boats, Luffy. They're trying to desperately explain this whole
They
situation
called
to Luffy.
Luffy dad once, and he said, "I don't like that."
Yeah, I don't want that. But then they're
I
just
don't
but
like
then
that.
but then Luffy's just like, well, why don't if I'm in trouble, I call you guys, and if you're in trouble, you call me, and then we're just gonna be friends about it. And it's like it's Bartolomeo and Orlumbus that really kind of like drive it home, I believe. They're just like, no, what he's trying to say is it's not important the ritual. The importance is that we've got the bond and he's just wants it's not about like power or like being a lord or being in charge of anything.
It's freedom.
He just wants to be free. And it's just like
Yes.
and in that exact point, we are free to do as we please, which means we are free to make the Straw Hat Grand
Yeah.
Fleet. Everybody drink.
Yeah, I love that moment because it like triples down on what we knew in this arc, where it's like all of these it's like all of these protagonists, right? Like everybody is a main character here, being like, "No, I'm gonna do what I want," and it's like, "I'm sorry, is your name on the cover of this manga?" Yes, it is. Like it's a lot of like people making individual choices, and in this moment of Luffy being like, "No, I'm gonna do what I always do, and I'm gonna do what I want," and they're like, "Cool."
And
I learned it from you, Dad. And they
Whatever
all
you
drank.
say, boss.
Because it
Yeah,
really
yeah.
is. I mean, realistically, you take a look at most of the people, most of the people who are like the Straw Hat Grand Fleet people, like in their own respect, like Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Chopper, Robin, Frankie, Brook, Cabbage, frickin' Bartolomeo, even people like Idio and Leo and Harjun, maybe not Sai or Lumbus, but like in their own minds or in their own right, they could easily have their own story and their own manga and their own series just to them. And like the whole story that's told in Dressrosa could have been its own entire series, like in and of itself.
Origin
and it's like,
arc.
Exactly. It's like it's a whole like each thing is its own story, and it's the Straw Hats just kind of going through it. And because everybody who has like a big part in all of this, and has their own major devil fruit and is playing it's like a role in all this, sees themselves as a main character, they're just like, well, I guess I'll just do whatever I want because that's what he's doing, and he obviously thinks he's a main character, and I know I'm a main character, so why don't I just do that? And that is Luffy. That is Luffy. It's just like, be the main character. It's like, why don't you just do that? It's like, why don't you just? It's like, I never thought of it that way.
With this also, one of the things that we're seeing with the formation of the Grand Fleet is more of the different types of people of the world coming together in this united front against the government. We've got the Tontada, we've got the Giants, we've got the Long Arm and the Long Leg tribe. Everybody, we have skeletons. Everybody on Luffy's crew, and
We've got it all.
We've got it all. Everybody coming together. And does anybody remember the number of how many pirates form the Grand
Oh no,
Fleet?
save it for your awful quiz show.
We'll get it wrong.
It's I have all right. You know what? I'm going to take back the thing I said on stream last night about having the fifth channel open at all times.
Oh no.
No.
I need to reinstate here.
Without making
Oh, no.
without making like a specific number, I do believe that it's less than Whitebeard's fleet.
It's Luffy's number. It's 5,600 pirates.
Okay, but how many fleets is that?
What? No, I
many
said pirates.
boats?
Pirates.
I just said pirates. I didn't say.
I mean,
I'll
fleets.
no,
look up
the
how much
fleet
a
is
fleet is.
the fleet is the whole thing. The fleet is the whole thing. It's the more than two is the fleet. Is what we decided on.
Depending on the Navy, we couldn't quite figure out the true
The
definition.
Navy decided to be different about things, and they just had to
I
be
was too
contrarian
drunk
because
for that.
frickin'
I don't
Navy.
remember anymore.
Does anybody have anything
yes.
else that we want to touch on before
Yes.
we get to the very, very final thing?
Molly
please?
does, and so do I.
So, like in this last half of this arc, in terms of like goosebump moments, like since we're just at the end here, the moment when, first off, Fujitora is just straight up like, "Listen, man, I've been rolling the dice every day, and the dice don't lie. All right, like
I love that too. That was such a great. It's like, well, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna change our minds. The dice
It's-
rolls.
but,
It's
like,
liar's
straight up, though,
dice.
just straight up though, it's leaving it to fate, and fate said, "Yeah, give him like 3 days off," and he said,
It's
"Okay."
fine.
But like,
All right.
I also love in this last moment where the people understand that they can't outwardly stop the Marines, right? They want, like, in a classic, like, Straw Hats are getting at, like, I gotta go. Like, they, never get a proper goodbye, but they also don't want a proper goodbye. But in this moment where, final boss guy shows up and he's like, all right, we're doing this right now. And all the townsfolk run out and they're like, get out of here, you dang pirates. You
done
poopy
stinking
heads.
pirates. Get out of here. Yeah.
And
very-
like him
Old man
not
yells
being
at
able
cloud.
to see, him not being able to see, but is moved by, like, he doesn't feel any like anger or resentment. Like, he knows that what they're yelling is not how they're feeling. And in the moment where Fujitora is like, I wish I hadn't given up my eyesight. I bet you have a really kind face. Like that. Like, even like right now, really, like goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like him like smiling. I can't remember if he's got like a little tear, if he's just smiling, but like that one panel of him doing that, like, was just like, man, I guess I like him now. Like,
I'm gonna add another layer to this. I
Go for
feel
it.
like Oda tried to subtly imply that he can control how he rolls dice. Like in the first scene where we see him, he's winning at this dice game, but they're lying to him and telling him, no, you're not. And he's like, okay, and he's just like sitting there calmly as it happens.
Yeah,
do you
he
think
he
that's
like he fully
a thing
knows.
with gravity? Like, do you think
Yeah,
it's like when you
absolutely.
roll
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
dice, you're pulling your gravity down on like where the dice
here's the
rolls?
thing. We don't know the weight of his dice. And if he's got weighted dice, he knows which way's the lightest and which way's the heaviest. So those
And
dice
how
could
does
be
how does hockey interact with that? Blah 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 blah.
Like,
there's
it is fully within his capability to decide where the dice falls if he has gravity power.
Right.
Like, that's just
Oh, I didn't think about that. Interesting.
so he's
we don't know
he's
if
one
his
of the
dice
good
are
guys.
loaded. And the thing is like, what does it benefit him to he has to stack the deck in his own favor, like in ways, because he knows that people are going to be dishonest to him, especially in these areas. So it's like, okay, well, how do I combat the natural dishonesty of these types of folks? Well, I stack the deck in my favor, and then I use my gravity power and magical dice.
I kind of hate this, but I kind of love it. I have an analogy for this whole shtick that it makes sense, but it doesn't, like, I didn't ever think about it. This guy is straight up the witch from Beauty and the Beast, who's like, I'm cold. Like,
it's
can I
like
have
a lesson
come
that
in? And it's like to see how
makes you a
somebody
better
will
person at
react,
the end.
right? And then to be like, haha, I was a Marine this whole time. Like, and now justice will happen. Like, at least he gives you an opportunity, right? Like, he gives you the opportunity to
I kind of adore that analogy, because there's a lot of like, I feel like, and this is something that I really like about One Piece and this is what I like about a lot of certain types of media, where it's just like, when they go and adapt something, like, we're gonna adapt Pinocchio, and it's just like, it's our version of it, and we change some stuff about it, but it's not really like changing the character or anything like that. It's still the same blah 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 lesson learned
it's
and
still
everything like
racist.
that. It's still, but meanwhile we have
Sorry?
Usopp. Meanwhile we have Usopp, who is One Piece's Pinocchio, and the point of like Usopp's thing is just like, it's not that he was lying, it's that he was dreaming big. It's just like, this is the stuff I want to do, and I'm going to pretend I've already done it. And then as his story goes on, he does the things. It's like, it's less of a you're a liar and more of a big dream, go make it happen situation.
Usopp does his daily affirmations, and they're coming true.
Exactly, it's exactly it. It's like, it's not lying to yourself if you're gonna do it and you have the determination to do so. And he just needed the kick in the ass to do it, and the kick in the ass was Luffy.
When the stakes are down, and it's like, it's me or him. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how it works, but I love that it's like, believe it. Like, this story is all about believe it.
It's such a simple thing that like we get to. And I really do. Yeah, I completely agree, Molly. You're on point. It's just it's a lot of it's a lot of not purpose through words, but purpose through life is kind of
Purpose through
what one.
actions as
Yeah,
well.
it's action and life. It's like it's like a lot of all the good people are just like. It's like, well, I was bad. And it's like, okay, well, then don't die. Just go be good. It's like, well, what about my payment? It's like, there is no payment. Just go be good. It's like, well, what about this? Like, it doesn't matter. Just go be good. But what about the people who wouldn't trust me? It's like, it doesn't matter. Just go be good. It's like you giving up here means nothing.
I love it because it's like, it's that like, I'll forgive you, but like part of the process of me forgiving you is seeing that you don't do the same thing over and over again. Right. Like it's like, you back up your actions, you back up your words with your actions. And it's like, I love that with this. It's like, that's what it is, right? It's like the Straw Hats are, their love language is acts of service or whatever. And then it's like everybody else who's all talk sometimes doesn't even get it. Like Bellamy's a great example of that, of being like, all right, I'm going to show I'm serious by trying to kill myself while I do it. And Luffy's like, no, idiot. Like that is
stupid
like,
idiot.
You got part of the lesson, but you can't be better if you're dead. Like you dying a martyr does not like absolve you of all sin, idiot. Like
exactly. And that's why I really like about
One Piece. Yeah.
It's what I like about One Piece is like the people who are bad will continuously triple and septuple down, where the people who want to be good will step apprehensively into that thing and need to be continuously encouraged. And the people who are good are holding each other accountable in those moments. It's like, hey, I see you wavering a little bit because stuff's a little hard right now. Don't do it. You need a pep talk. You need a kick in the ass. You want to have a friendly boxing match for some reason randomly. Then it's like it's all of that. And
it's how you approach failure. It's like when you fail, there's a lesson to learn. Do you choose to learn the lesson?
Yeah, Al.
I just gotta punch him one more time, real good.
And
just
that's
one.
No,
and then
it'll work this time.
Yeah, and the thing is, and it does. It's just like
I'll give him the biggest punch.
Maybe that's why I like Luffy so much. Maybe that's why I like Luffy so much. Is
the
because
punching?
It's the forever optimist idea. It's just like, well, I tried really hard already. And it didn't work with that person. And it's like in Bellamy's case, it's like, I tried before and I punched him real hard. And he came back and he's still a jerk. So I'm going to punch him again.
How many times did I teach you the same lesson, old man?
Exactly.
But it's not just punch him again. It's punch him better.
Right.
I'm going to punch even better.
And then finally he gets to that third punch. That third punch is like, all right, finally. And it's like, you're free. You can make your own decision. And Bellamy's just like, all right. I'm sticking to my convictions. And Luffy's like, I can respect that, and I'm gonna die. And Luffy's like, can't respect that. I got one more punch, and then he punched him even better. And then
he punches
like every punch you ever throw needs to be the best punch you've ever thrown in your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Luffy's entire mantra.
For
Wayne
somebody
Gretzky.
who's so like is just full of nonsense, he beats the sense in people. It's funny for somebody who has no brain cell beating the brain cell into people. The same thought process, right? Like just real quick before we end this.
Please.
A great example of this theme, this like thematic that we're talking about right now of like Usopp in this arc is kind of a bastard. Like the whole first part, he's just outwardly lying to these gullible little creatures. And like Robin is giving him so much side eye. She is just like, bro, you're better than, like, it's been 2 years. You're better than this. You're better than this. And then we see the full arc of that like cowardice and lying in the first half of the arc at the end of the arc. Even though like Usopp does get his ass kicked in for lying, it's like he's still still makes it work though. Like it still happens, even though he was lying before, he makes it a reality.
In fact, that's something that we kind of glossed over, and I really want to bring up before we end it. And this is the thing that I really wanted to talk about. So thank you, Molly, for giving me the segue here. At the end of it, like when the whole thing is like coming down, so it's like, okay, hey, Doflamingo's like, I want bounties. I'm putting bounties on these people. Each person has a star, and the more stars they have, the more they're worth. And like Luffy and Zoro, they have 3, and like Robin has like 1, and Rebecca has 1, and then Usopp has 5. And it's because
Usopp did it.
the thing is, and that's exactly it. It's like, the thing is Doflamingo knows that Luffy is the biggest threat to him. Knows that Luffy is the biggest threat to him. Knows that Luffy and Law are the strongest ones. But it's not about being strong. It's about personal vendetta at that point. It stops being about anything else. It's like, this is the person who instigated everything by being whatever the hell he is. I even met the dude. And I hate him.
His kingdom collapsed specifically because of Usopp. Like,
if everything turned to shit. Sorry,
it's one of
because of this.
It's I mean, sorry, I don't have the permission to forgive you for that one, but it's also like he knows Law and Luffy are coming for him. He knows that Law and Luffy will come to him, but while they're doing that, he's like, you guys better make this guy die. Like if I lose everything in this moment, please make sure Usopp dies. Like that was such a that's like, there's so much funny character things that happen to Usopp in this arc. And the moment they announced God Usopp with 5 stars made me laugh so
It was
hard.
The thing is I think that's amazing. Like you have Sabo and Law and the former king of Dressrosa and Luffy 3 stars. Nobody with 4 stars. Usopp 5 stars. And then you take a look at like Zoro's got 2, and then like Rebecca's dad has 2, and then Frankie and Viola and Robin, 1 star.
Well, it could also be a distraction of, are they going to, Doffy thinking, oh, well, if I put a target on their friend, what if they stop attacking me to go help and keep this person from dying?
The funny part is Luffy's just like,
he's fine.
He's fine.
Like,
Usopp will be fine. And Law doesn't care.
I beat him up and he survived. He should be fine.
Yeah, Law doesn't care. Sabo doesn't know him. Luffy is just like, he'll be fine. And the rest of them are busy.
At this point in the timeline, Luffy is like, my crew can handle it. Like, he knows when the crew can't handle it. He's like, my crew can handle it. But he's also probably like, Robin is out there. And if he runs into Zoro, he'll just cling to Zoro. So it'll be fine.
The cool part about it is that in that moment, it's everybody else who has been around Usopp that comes around and protects Usopp. And it's just like, it shows like, it's like, listen, I was doing all that to protect you, and I did everything I could to keep you all safe. I'm not the strongest person. I'm not the bravest person. I'm not the smartest person, but I am me, and I'm a bit of a trickster. So let's see what I can do. And he does it. And it's just like it's wonderful to see. And this is kind of like, this is why I love Usopp, and why Usopp's probably my top 3 of like the Straw Hat crew. Like, because of Usopp's growth from where he started to where he is, it's like he's proud to have that. Like in his own moments, away from everybody else and only with the crew, he's terrified every time his bounty goes up. He's terrified to be in the spotlight. But in the moments like this, he wears it with pride. It's like, I'm the one who they want. It's like, so everybody come and protect me and make sure that this happens. And then he uses that moment to be just like, if you think I'm great, because Doflamingo's just like, yeah, we're just gonna focus on Usopp, and Usopp's like the god, and everybody's focusing on Usopp. It's like, and if you think I'm great, that's my captain, so he's even better than me. And it uses that like position that people have put him in, that position of power that he was put in, to uplift the person who helped him every single step of the way.
Well, he's a preacher.
That's why Usopp is best.
Yeah, like Usopp is the preacher. Like he's like, have you heard the good word of Luffy today? And it's like, because he is a believer. Like,
number 1 hype man.
Yeah, it's like
he's terrified all the time. He's still the scared person he always was. Nothing about his core has really ever changed. It's just the people around him are supportive of him and help him out of those moments and make him able to be, the full ability of himself, which I love it. So good.
Before we end, I know we keep saying before we end, it's one stupid little thing. It's a 1-statement sentence that like we won't even have to branch off from it, but it's just like, those moments where I'm like, this was for me. Like, who is this for? This was for me. The fact that Law and Sengoku got to talk a little bit about these two people who've never met, but kind of raised him, and then vice versa, Corazon raised Law. I don't know, there's like a nice generational moment of the two of them talking, and also just being totally a juxtaposition of the other person, but like was both influenced by Corazon, of like one's a pirate, one's a marine. And yeah, that moment was for me, and I liked it. I just wanted to say that before we end this episode.
And as a reminder, like we said at the top of this, first of all, we got through Dressrosa really fast in the point, and I think that's going to be to our benefit. But similarly, just a reminder, if you want us to talk about other stuff in greater depth, if there's some moments that you feel like we missed, please head to our socials and let us know. And it could be something that we do in a follow-up episode. But mostly, we just needed to get through Dressrosa because like this one was super dense. It introduced a lot, and we're technically not even done talking about it, but we're going to talk about that in Port Predictions coming up soon. So make sure that you're following and subscribed for all of that.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Also, leave us reviews, please. Please leave us reviews.
Yeah.
Reviews, please.
So we're going to cut it off here because, as you know, from us, we tend to go long and can go long. So
Long ring, long land.
I know we barely touched on like the royal family stuff, but that's fine. Rebecca and Kairos are living happily ever after. Or
I'll
as far
just
as we
say
know.
for everybody at home, I respect Rebecca's mom for being like, Dad, if I don't marry him, I'll die. And she fakes her death. hard cuts to her death, and she's like, yay.
There's a lot of little fun moments in there, but like it's a lot of like stuff that is very small, very personal to characters that like we'll probably see again, but not in the sense of this part is going to be super relevant.
It's stuff that
more...
we needed in the moment, but not
Yes.
stuff that we needed in the long term.
It's not something we needed in the grand line of things.
But before we go, we're going to let everybody put themselves over, give their socials and stuff so that you can follow them respective social media platforms of choice. Hey, Caden, how about you go first?
Hi, it's me, the Wild Theorist. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and Twitch. And that's Caden Jensen, KDINJENZEN. I'm a VTuber. Come check out my streams. And also on TikTok, I'm going to start doing TikTok stuff and putting clips and stuff up there. And that's REAL Caden Jensen, because somebody took my name there. So follow me on all the thingies.
Al.
You can find me at Al McClellan Jr. That's ALMCCLELLANDJR. Good luck. Basically everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Been doing a bunch of TikToks. And we might have a stream at some point where we make one live.
No, impossible.
Could be.
Impossible.
Live.
I'm the internet's Mark B. Donica. You can follow me on Twitter at Mark B. Donica. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Mark B. Donica. I forgot what I was saying for a moment. I blacked out. That's me. Hey, Captain, how about you?
I'm gonna be I'm gonna be very honest. I have not been on Twitter lately, and I think that's a detriment to my good health at the moment. But you can find me, for updates for streams and stuff like that. You can find me on Twitter at TEHFLOOD to flood. But really, if you want to see what I'm up to, you got to get on the you got to get back on Tumblr, man. I'm telling you, it's coming back. You got to come back. You can find me at Molly Flood, Molly K Flood, depending on what you're looking for, and we have a Yayo Talk Show Tumblr. So if you like memes, if you like gift sets, if you like fan art of One Piece, follow us on there.
You should go to there.
You should go there.
Please.
And going along with how most arcs and sagas have ended, now that you've listened to the episode, you've joined our grand fleet. With that comes, I can finally say that. I've been wanting to say that for so long. With that comes the responsibility of telling your friends, leaving a comment, following us on Twitter and Twitch at Yayo Talk Show, and letting Caden watch the show in one piece. So come aboard, and we'll see you next time on Yayo Talk Show.
Yo.
Man,
Yo.
Doffy's Dork Gang.
I hate that
Doffy's
dude.
Dork Gang.
Talking about
One Piece.